Welcome to episode 100 of Planning Phase Syndicate. Yes, folks, we have officially hit 100 episodes. Crazy. Can't even imagine that we've hit this many so far. So first off, I want to thank everybody for joining us along this ride to make it a very fun and amazing podcast. Essentially, this will be 2 years, which is crazy to me that we're hitting 2 years. And yes, we've had some personnel changes. I've been here, but we have had some personnel changes over the past 8 to 10 months, but we're still here, folks, and we're gearing up for some amazing things. Now, with that being said, at the end of the show, we will be spoiling a few of the things that we have in the works in terms of cards and tokens. So we will be doing that as well. And we talked about that last week because they're going to be part of our Patreon package, and then they're going to be put on a website to be sold to anybody that wants to buy them. I'm guessing an Etsy site. I think that's the smartest way to go. I'm not 100% sure. But that's where we'll probably go with that. With that being said, though, with our 100th episode tonight, we will be doing something a little bit different, but not too much because we got points, baby. We got points. So to celebrate, AMG decided they're like, hey, Planning Phase Syndicate is going to have their 100th episode. We want to make sure we give them points just for this episode. So tonight, we're going to be covering points changes. I have no idea how many of the lines we'll cover, but we're going to cover a bunch of them. We're also going to be covering a store championship, only the top 2, but we're going to cover the top 2 list in a store championship that use the new points this weekend. And then, of course, we ask you as the listener to submit lists to us in our Discord to say, hey, folks, these are things I've been thinking about flying since new points have dropped. We probably won't get through all the lists. I think we had like 50 to 60 of them submitted over the course of this weekend, and I don't have time to get through every single one of those lists tonight. But what I will promise is that next week when we come back, we will be covering lists again, and we'll probably do it a third week in a row because I think there's going to be enough list building that we can actually give you a huge recommendation on different lists to fly. Now, if you didn't get in on submitting the list, you can head over to our Discord. JJ, I'll throw the links in the description. And we have something called Community List Build. And in our Community List Building, essentially what they do is you can just post your list. It'll show up in there. And what it'll do is allow you to be able to go ahead and it must be turned off, JJ. It'll allow you to go ahead and determine or place a list that we get to review. So now, without further ado, let's bring in my co-hosts that are going to help me celebrate 100. Mr. Alex from the Best Spin Bench Warmers podcast. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm okay. Also, congratulations on the 100 episodes.
Thank you.
I think we've been around for a year and have like 30, so, we'll take another 5 years or so to catch up.
Nice.
And the other person, the man, JJ, the guy who has foregone his Giants just for me tonight and for the rest of the year, because whoever wins the store champ first, he has to wear the opposing team's swag for the rest of the year. So.
Oh man, I didn't agree to that at all.
You did too. I have record of it.
So doing okay today. Today celebrated my wife's birthday today. We had fun. We had family over. We ate. We drank. It was a whole lot of fun today. This whole weekend we spent traveling, doing a lot of stuff, just trying to get our apartment to look really, really good. And thankfully we're able to do it. But in the midst of all that, we had points. It was list building mania since Friday or since Thursday actually. And man, there's just so many good things that's come out so far with the new points.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? We wanted points 100%, and we get points, and now they're just I feel overwhelmed almost.
Yeah.
Know? I don't know. I don't know about you, but I feel pretty overwhelmed with the amount of points that, and things that are just showing up.
Yeah, so for me, like what I do every time there's a new points update, I basically go into my YASB and I delete everything. I delete every single list that I've ever built and I start from scratch. I go with archetypes that I know and I work from there. And then if I find some new combo or anything like that based on the points that I'm seeing, then I start exploring that route and I go down that rabbit hole. But I immediately start going through, like, the first thing I think about is like our running series about list archetypes, and I basically start trying to build that every type of that archetype in each faction, and that way I can see what's the best fit. What can I fit in each one of those? How does it look on paper? Does it synergize very well for what I'm trying to accomplish? And I just go from there.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think that's one of the keys here, right? Is just you don't know what else to do with your time. And I'll be honest with you, like, I spent so much time looking at lists this weekend, it's not even funny. We just lose JJ again.
Well, he's back now.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, my AT&T this weekend has like completely crapped out. I went like almost an entire day without service, so it's been spotty. So I'm jumping in and out as it happens. Thank you, AT&T.
I was about to say there's your problem right there, but
and then they'll cut me out right now as soon as I say that.
Yeah. So I think before we begin, I want to do a little bit Star Wars trivia, and it's going to just be the three of us, but anybody is welcome to play along in the chat if they would like, right? So here is my Star Wars trivia. I don't know. Hopefully you can see my screen. I didn't even think about that. So hopefully you bring up the show so you can see my screen. All right. So which Star Wars movie was filmed entirely in the studio?
Rogue One.
Well, that's not an option. You have Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars, Attack of the Clones, and Return of the Jedi.
I'm going to say Revenge of the Sith.
All right.
That would be my initial impression as well.
All right.
But I can also see Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you got it. I wonder what happens if you click the other one. Nope. You get the X. So there you go. All right, cool. Good to know. I did not go through these, by the way, guys. So I did not know the answers outside of what comes to my head. Which of the three main heroes, Luke, Leia, and Han Solo, in the first Star Wars trilogy, refused to sign a 3-picture deal?
Harrison Ford.
Easy.
He hates everything.
Yes.
All right. There we go. Y'all 2 for 2 tonight. All right. Well, we know what color. I don't even have to ask you guys that. So
Deep fuchsia, purple, midnight.
Mauve.
Yeah.
All right. Star Wars special marked the first appearance of
it's Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's too easy.
Wow.
What actor pulled out of episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, when he discovered that non-union actors were being used in the film?
I want to say Gary Oldman.
He always seems like he'd be one that cares more than like Mel Gibson.
It is Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Was supposed to be Grievous and pulled out.
Wow.
Who is the only non-Jedi in the original trilogy to use a lightsaber? The trick
Was this like
question.
in episode 7? No, 6.
Han Solo.
Is it Han Solo or is it R2D2?
Yes. It's Han Solo in Empire Strikes Back when he
cut out Luke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because my daughter thought it was hilarious that R2D2 had Luke's lightsaber when we went and saw Revenge of And
Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
Return
Go by
of
the
Jedi.
original name. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's really the Revenge. Anyway, that's what it should be called. But
It was going to be called that, and then they're like, Jedi shouldn't get revenge or whatever.
yeah. Which character did George Lucas consider making a little person? I'm guessing Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar
With
Binks.
Chewbacca, man.
I'm going with Jar Jar. Yeah.
The Ewoks.
All right, it's not Jar Jar.
It's Chewbacca.
It's not Chewbacca.
I tried.
Leia? Because it can't be
It's Luke. It's Luke.
Really?
We really
Wow.
failed this one.
Wow.
We guessed everyone. That one.
Okay.
I did not know that. That was definitely new. Who served as Jabba the Hutt's chief of staff?
Bib
I don't know
Fortuna.
any of those.
That's an easy one.
Oh,
Approximately how many languages does C-3PO speak?
6 trillion forms of communication, according to his spiel.
No. 6 billion. No. Must be million then. I don't think they had trillions back then.
I was going to go guess a million, but you were real confident on that.
All right. Yeah. We shouldn't trust JJ. In episode 7, the growls and sounds of the Rancor were actually made by what animal?
It wouldn't surprise me if it was like a Wolverine.
I want to say a panther, just because it has like a roar.
Don't know,
Yeah.
like the sound of the Rancor.
All right.
Just imagine Denny Trejo, and you'll get
It's a dash hound. It's a dash hound.
no way,
Right.
no
Yeah.
way. Wow.
But Michigan Wolverines.
I know I was a little excited there for a second.
I was hoping.
Which bounty hunter in Empire Strikes Back is wearing an old costume from Doctor Who?
Probably Bosk, right?
Yeah.
Does he have, like
Bosk.
a jumpsuit.
Bosk. Yeah.
Alternatively, Dengar, but
What kind of trooper is introduced? Oh my god! At the beginning of
Death
Rogue
Trooper.
One.
Death Troopers.
Death Trooper.
My favorites.
Yeah, and they're now 4 points.
It was just not okay, by the way.
Nope,
I don't
I
know,
know.
why they let that happen.
We'll get to that. Nobody built a list around them. I'll tell you that right now.
I did. And then forgot to do anything. I didn't save it. 7-point rack with Death Troopers and also Vader. Ooh.
Oh my god, and Vader went down in points too. Oh man.
Mhm.
All right. In Return of the Jedi, Jabba refers to Han as his favorite what?
Decoration.
Knick-knack. That'd be kind of funny.
It's not. It is decoration. The animators who brought the AT-AT to life in episode 5 based their movements on what kind of animal?
A camel.
No, I would assume camel.
No,
But also
giraffe.
Giraffe would be-
No,
An
Damn,
elephant?
yeah,
What?
yeah. I guess I could see it.
Yeah.
Birds.
Okay.
What? Or a camel? It's got those weird knee things. I don't know.
What is the Star Wars film in which Yoda is completely computer generated?
Oh, it's Attack of the Clones, right? Because he was still a puppet in the first one.
Yeah, that's when he
The
meant
Phantom.
jump all over the place while he's lightsaber fighting Dooku. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Of
haven't seen
whom
it
did
since it came
Jabba
out.
the Hutt say the bounty hunter? Okay, never mind. We're just skip that one.
That's Leia. Yeah.
That's too easy. What is the name? Oh my god.
The Ebon Hawk.
Yeah.
That's great.
Grogu.
Yeah, it's not even in here. What did
No, it's Baby Yoda. Everybody called them Baby Yoda before
I like
we knew it
Baby
was Grogu.
Jabba better. Where's
Baby
my question? What? Okay, how about this? What Rebels character referred to himself as a character that we didn't see in Rebels?
Well, considering that he hasn't seen Rebels, I'm gonna say it's
Oh,
Ezra
shit.
Bridger.
Never mind.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
it
go
is.
with.
And what was his nickname?
Dash Rendar.
Jabba.
Oh,
Damn it.
Jabba.
That
He
would've
called
been
himself
cool.
Jabba. I don't care about that question. When the Force Awakens, what abandoned vehicle does Rey live in?
AT-AT.
Oh, you're missing the classic on ad libbed. I know. So
Fun-
great.
You
Fun
wanna do
fact:
that one?
they that fallen ATT was actually based on an elephant.
I didn't know that.
Based on a dash out.
What kind of business did Luke's uncle own?
He's a
Moisture
farmer.
farm.
Which character said, "Why you slimy, double crossing, no
Leia.
good swindle"?
Leia. Yeah.
Nerf herder.
No, it wasn't Leia. Lando.
My boy.
In Rogue One, what is the Empire removing from the holy city of Jeddah?
Kyber crystals.
I don't remember.
Okay, it was Kyber crystals. Which all-terrain walker does the Empire use to capture? Oh my god!
All right, so that's tricky, right? Because technically there were both AT-ATs and AT-STs in that sequence.
Yep.
So
which one?
AT-AT, I would assume that's the most iconic out of the two. So
how many people does Darth Vader kill in Empire Strikes Back? 2, 1, 4, or 3?
the majority of them were like captains of the ship. So I want to say 3 because he kills Hitler, he kills Grammel, and I want to say 3.
Alex?
I don't know, man. Did he choke a couple people out? 2?
2. And we're not good at this.
Hell yeah.
How old is
Easy.
Yoda when he succumbs to the Force?
Also, 900.
It's 900. That's who did not attend the 77 premiere of The New Hope?
Harrison Ford.
I want to go with Carrie Fisher because she was too coked out of her mind.
Not Carrie Fisher. It's not Harrison Ford. It was
George
George
Lucas.
Lucas.
Doesn't watch his own films.
He was busy doing American Graffiti.
That came out before, didn't it?
He was working on Raiders of the Lost Ark. What is Count Dooku's Sith name?
Darth Tyrannus.
I knew this one. It's on his card.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it actually? I did not know that. Who plays Chewbacca in the original Star Wars trilogy?
Peter Mayhew.
What Golden Girl played the role of Academia in Night Shift Bartender in the holiday special? It's gotta be B. Arthur, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say B. Arthur. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Who did Obi-Wan defeat in the Battle of Naboo? Okay.
Darth Maul.
Is that even really true, though? I guess
Defeat,
just says
not
defeat.
kill.
Defeat.
Not
Yeah,
kill.
that's fair.
It's just defeat. Yeah.
He defeated him.
Yes.
In The Rise of Skywalker, who makes a brief cameo as a bartender in the Cantina Kajimi? I don't know how you say it.
I mean...
Ahmad Best.
That's not an option on here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams.
I was going to say it's probably something like J.J. Abrams been self-inserting himself in the movie, but I could also see like John Williams finally getting a face in there or something. I don't know.
It's John Williams.
Oh.
You're 100% correct.
Wow. Nice. I got to go back and see that.
Which character appears briefly at the end of Princess Leia?
All right, the CGI Princess Leia.
What kind of beast inhabits the great pit of Kar Canoe?
A Sarlacc?
That's the only pit things I know.
All right.
Yeah.
A graboid?
What species stole the plans to the Death Star?
Humans.
And Bothans. Because a lot of them died. I'm waiting for that movie, man. I'm waiting for that movie for the Bothans stealing the Death Star plans.
We're never going to do it.
You got it in the original Battlefront 2.
Oh my god. All right. During the first episode of The Mandalorian, what creature is seen roasting on a spit?
The Corky monkey.
I never watched Mandalorian, man.
Okay. All right. Which pilot was shot down by the Final Order forces during the Battle of Exegol?
Snap Wetzel.
Snap. Yeah, he
Yeah.
died. Unceremoniously, like all of the rest.
All right. Well, there you go. That was fun. It's a fun little trivia. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't fun.
I like how they have Thane Kyrell as an answer there.
I know. I had to like really think. I'm like, wait, Exegol.
It's not Thane. So I should have been keeping track of
Points. Yeah.
points for you, each of you. Should have put some betting on the line. That's what we should have done.
Speaking of points, we should get
have
into
some.
point talks.
We
Let's
do.
do it, man.
Get into
Good
some
transition.
discussion. I don't know. You just don't like it because you don't watch Star Wars. I like Star Wars trivia.
That's fair.
All right, ship points. So tonight we're going to be going through the ship points first. We'll discuss. I guess you guys just interrupt and discuss things as we see them. How about that? And if there's something you want to point out, I do not like that this is in black and white at all. I don't understand why the fuck they thought that was a good idea.
Well, you can use my doc if you like. That's in color.
I was about to say, wasn't like the old AMG ones all like in like light red and blue? Or is that just FFG?
FFG ones were, yeah.
I thought Atomic Mass did it too. I don't know.
I don't know.
I posted a colorized version if you like, the one that I made. If that's easier for you. It's in the Discord if you need it.
What is it?
It's the Google Doc with all the points changes on there.
Yeah, I could probably bring it up. Does it look dumb? Am I gonna have to?
Did you get all the ones that? Did you correct the mistakes that?
Yes.
Had in there? That's good.
Yes,
Or they're just like, yeah, boss, he didn't change. He didn't go down to 2 points. Just ignore that.
Yeah.
Or yeah, Afra definitely changed Goff. That's why she's highlighted, even though he didn't do anything.
Let's stall for me while I bring it up. How about that?
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
definitely. So overall, while you're bringing that up, what's your impressions, Alex, on like the overall points change? Do you think it's positive, neutral, bad? Like, what are your thoughts so far?
I am a massive fan of just nuking everything and rebuilding it directly from the ground because I find that very interesting. List building is basically my favorite part of this game. So I like that they're just like, yeah, no small changes. We'll do everything for everyone except for Scum Faction. I love it.
Yeah, for me, like this felt like a step in a good direction, and I kind of want to like clarify on that a little bit. So, at the end of 2.0, I felt that the game was in a good state where the game felt very balanced. You had a lot of different options between all the different points for all the different upgrades and pilots, and there's a lot of variety of lists that you can really go to. 2.5 came out, and when they initially came through, I felt like a lot of the unique pilots, had a ton of loadout. So you would just try to jam as many upgrades as you want into those pilots. And, it was definitely a different change for it. And it kind of changed the way the game was played a bit with the lowering of loadout values for a lot of pilots that we were seeing in the meta. It feels like you're trying to put more emphasis now into flying strategically with those particular ships rather than just trying to joust somebody with as many red dice as possible. I mean, there's certainly some lists that can do that still, but it's not as prevalent as where it once was. And I think that we're heading back more towards that with these points changes, and with a lot of things costing very similarly. I think we're getting to a point where you're definitely have a lot more options now across the factions, with the exception of Scum. I think Scum still needs a little more help, but it feels a lot more balanced than where previous was.
So on my side, I think on a positive note, I was happy that they started messing around with loadouts so that we don't have to have 7 million cards. And so you don't have to remember 1 million interactions. And logically, you would think that would make Scum better because it would allow for them to lower point costs in Scum. But we aren't there yet. But when we get there, you'll see it's not what we were told was going to happen. What the rumors were. So I'm not super excited about Scum personally myself. I am excited for Fang Fighters, I guess. How about that? I do like me some Fang Fighters, and I can put 5 of them on the table if I want. Doesn't mean they'll do anything, but I can do it. So on a positive note, I think the big thing that I see was that we saw loadouts come down. On a negative thing, I do not care for the fact that we still are ignoring generics. If we're going to do that, can we just ban all generics and move on with our life? Like, if you don't want us to use them, let's just ban them and move on. I don't want to see them on the list anymore. I don't want to think about them. And I want you to stop creating content with generics in it. That's what I like. If we get tie bombers with generics, I'm going to be pissed because it's like, stop doing it. You're not going to do anything for us. So why even waste the effort? It's another damn card slot in my binder. I don't need. And I am, in fairness, I'm very tempted to go through my binder and pull all generics out and just stick them in a box because they're dead. So I'm not excited to not see some generic use back. I am excited that we get more ships with abilities that we didn't get before. I'm excited to see 2-point ships in some factions. Not super excited about Republic, but I am excited that we get some 2-point ships in a lot of other factions. And I'm very excited that we got Bosk for 2 points. I guess like that's really cool. I actually really like that change. They could have given us anybody, but instead they gave us Bosk with not much loadout, but they gave us Bosk.
Yeah,
so that's kind of cool.
The best Z and Scum, sure.
Yeah. So I do like that. It'd have been nice to have a couple TIE fighters too, but whatever. I guess again we'll see how the points play out later. I also do not know if I 100% like the fact that they're pushing a aggressive meta, and a high initiative meta. I thought that we would see a shift away from a super high initiative meta, and I don't think we are at all. And I could just give FO as an example. You can run pretty much all 5s and 6s in FO, and you can do swarm tactics and some other things. I mean, getting Midnight at 3 points is pretty big, in my opinion, in FO. But I don't see us shifting away, and I think that hurts. Like, I'm a little biased here, but I think it hurts CIS in that aspect because of those things. But we'll see. So,
all right.
So let's get into points. So JJ, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So you only have the changes on here, correct?
Yeah, so the way I listed here is the previous, the current points cost, and then the previous point cost, or what it costs from the previous loadout. If it's marked in blue, that means that it's beneficial to that particular ship, meaning they got a points reduction or they have something added to it. If it's marked red, then that means they've lost points or they've increased costs for it, or they've lost like a particular like upgrade slot, for instance. So so I try to color code it for it. If it's not if there's no color in it, I mean there's nothing changed for that particular stat, or there's nothing else for it. But I that's how I've color coded it. Basically, blue is positive, red negative, essentially. And of course, if anybody wants access to this, definitely jump on our Discord. I put it here in our announcements page for anybody to access. I sorted it out between all the different factions, including all the upgrades for those factions. So if you want to see a more detailed look just for the changes that occurred for this last points update, you're free to use that. It's open to anybody who wants to take a look at it, and hope you guys can use that for your list building. So yeah.
All right. Let's kick it off.
Let's do it. Yeah, so for Empire here, this is the first time I've actually seen some significant change here for stuff that's not currently in standard. So starting off with the Alpha Class Star Wing, we see some changes here for Lieutenant Karasabi and Major Vinder. Lieutenant Karasabi gaining 3 loadout points, whereas Major Vinder actually lost a couple of loadout points, 5 to be total, bringing it to 14 and 16 respectively. I'm assuming once they bring out the Alpha Class Star Wing, we're going to see some changes again for those particular ships, but at least there's some activity for that.
Vinder was also 6 points. Now he went down to 5, which is why he lost the 5 loadout points there.
Yeah. And then moving on to the Gauntlet Fighter. Now, this was actually a change that I was actually surprised to see, because normally originally the Imperial Gauntlet Fighters were just way too overcosted for what they did, and we saw a 1 point reduction on each. So for Captain Hart coming down to a 6, losing 1 loadout value, and he gained an enlisted slot on top of that as well. Same thing with Garth Saxon coming down from 8 points to 7. Still retains his loadout value. He did lose his torpedo slot, but he gained an enlisted slot on top of that. And I got to tell you, Garth Saxon with a couple of repositioned high initiative aces, that's going to be really good, especially if you can get within his range. If you're not familiar with what he can do, he could basically spend 1 of 2 charges to allow your ship that's outmaneuvering somebody to roll an additional dice. So with Soontir Fel coming out at 5 points, you still got Boy Vader at 6 points. You got 2 I6s that can reposition, get around you, and if they're within range of Garth Saxon, they're going to be hitting you with 5 dice at range 1. So it is really, really big.
Yeah, just as a change in general across all of the gauntlets, they all lost. Like, Garth Saxon's the only one that had torp slot, but most of them just had missile slots. All of them lost all their missile slots, and all of them gained enlisted. So.
Yeah. Which, honestly, with their 3-die primary out the front, I don't think they really lost anything in that, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of strictly better, but that is a change consistent across every faction that has the gauntlet.
Yeah. And then to round off the Gauntlet Fighters, the Imperial Super Commando, only change there is that they gained the illicit.
We just don't care. Sorry. We're going to move on. I don't give a shit about that guy.
All right. So talk about the TIE V1. What do we got?
So it looks like we're getting some V1s lowered. Very excited about the Grand Inquisitor change, because Grand Inquisitor was one of the ships I love to run. I love might be some Grand Inquisitor. You just think now you can run Ali Pakno's list with a whole new ship in it too. Anyway, so Fifth Brother went down to 4, and Seventh Sister went down to 4. So there's a guy at our locals that runs the Gauntlet with those 2 ships and like something else. They literally just gained 3 points. They can literally put a TIE fighter in there now if they want. It's crazy.
Or Laurier, which is where it's at.
Oh yeah, Lieutenant Laurier. Yeah.
So they all of them went down 1 point. They did lose some loadout. So Fifth Brother lost 3 loadout and the cannon slot, but he gets missiles, so you can take your homing missiles if you would like, which is probably going to be I feel that might be a staple on them, and just call it a day, because
you could do
pretty good.
Yeah, you could do homing missile, marksmanship, and fire control system.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. Sorry, homing and fire control system. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you really need FCS if you're shooting a homing missile, though?
If your opponent decides to let you shoot,
if my opponent
missile,
lets me shoot 4 dice, I don't need FCS. I already won the game.
Yeah.
And then Grand Inquisitor lost 7 loadout points. Not surprising. A little sad. I was kind of hoping he would keep like 13 to 15 of those, because I like Snapshot on Grand Inquisitor, personally myself, but now going down to that 10 points, you're not putting Snapshot on Grand Inquisitor at all. Seventh Sister lost a lot of loadout. She lost so much loadout, 7 loadout points, and one of her talent slots, which it's inconsequential because you only got 6 loadout points. So I think that's a mistake. I would actually rather have her at 5 points with more loadout, but excuse me. We'll see. It'd be nice to run a full Inquisitor list one of these times. But I don't know what much you do with Seventh Sister with only those 6 points. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cluster missiles.
And then the prediction of the night, the person that said, "Oh, we don't have to buy core sets, JJ. Don't worry about buying them because you can just build them." And guess what they're going to do? They're going to give us another 6-point Vader. Not that you want that 6-point Vader, but now I have to collect a core set just to get the fucking standard loadout card for that one ship. I hate you so much. I told you this was going to happen, that they're going to be dicks to us.
They got to sell those core sets, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, definitely getting a 6-point Vader coming in the core set. This is the one that matches the customized Vader, where he can spend a force to take additional actions. And he comes equipped with ion torpedoes and afterburners. Or sorry, ion missiles. You're right, ion missiles. That's a big difference. Big difference, yeah. And comes with an extra shield on there. Coming in at 6 points, man. I'm actually really tempted of running that over Boy Vader now. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely really good there. Also coming in at 5 points in that core set is Marek Still in the TIE V1 as well. That one is the one that comes with outmaneuver and afterburners, I believe, right? And that's definitely an interesting
post-combustibles.
Post-combustibles, yeah. Now the other adjustment that we see here is the customized Marek Stell coming down to 4 points. He lost 4 loadouts on it, but at 10 points, you can still either put afterburners on him or shield upgrade and still have enough points for either FCS or marksman Deadeye, whatever you want to put on him. I actually automatically replaced my Juno Eclipse in my Empire list for this Marek Stell because it is really good for what he can do. And if you can line up those bullseyes, especially after a shot from like a Vader and another Initiative 5, Marek Stell can definitely punch in some really bad crits into somebody with his ability. I think it's really good.
Would you consider putting Mag Pulse on Marek? You give up a shield or afterburners, but he is an I5 with Mag Pulse and then chooses the crit.
That's also very true. I did consider that, but I think, I mean, for range 3, just denying that extra die, that is really tempting.
You're an I5 Mag Pulse.
Yeah,
you know me and my Mag Pulses.
And with 6 loadout, I mean, you can still have SCS in there and
marksmanship.
You
still take marksmanship.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
I think that's one of the biggest things there is that piece of it, right? Like just getting Marek Steel back is huge. And what did I used to call him? Steely? Is that what I called him?
Yeah.
Steely Mark?
Stelly. Mark Stelly.
Yeah, so I can't remember what I... But I am excited for that, tentatively. Though I don't think I'll be playing Empire anytime soon, personally, but...
Yeah, and then also the other pilot that had some changes was Zertik Strum, who's the I3, if I'm not mistaken. He gained some loadout, actually, more than double. He went from 6 points to 14, and that's he does have a really nice ability if you're able to get it off consistently. But having the ability to flip a damage card if you had a lock on that person, I mean, this is a ship that I would absolutely put tracers on just so you can trigger that ability and give everybody else on the list a lock for future follow-up. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, you could do tracers and like shield upgrade or afterburners and also still have FCS.
Yeah.
And then you filled all the slots.
And then he's a 3 agility, 5 health with 2 shields to go grab objectives and stuff. I think he's actually a decent objective carrier for that. So
all right, I'll cover the next 2, and then I want Alex to do interceptors. So Faroff lost 3 loadout points, which is not surprising. Really don't care that much. Going down. Basically, if you want Faroff, you just don't get force points now. So you still run Death Troopers, though, baby.
Yeah, Death Troopers.
So I don't know. Like, I don't think they anyway. Yeah, whatever. And then Vader Defender lost 4 loadout and the talent slot. And we knew the talent slot was coming. So no more juking Defender Vader, and you can all stop whining about Defender Vader being overpowered, for Christ's sake. I don't ever want to hear it ever again. Ever. So,
a quick question. Do you think now, with the 10 loadout, that you start considering the TIE Defender Elite Vader?
No. What is wrong? No, JJ, no.
Okay.
No. Yes. Oh, let's not get a free evade that we use every turn to not die.
I mean, you know, so it lets you live, killing everybody else before they can shoot.
Oh. All right. Tell us about interceptors.
Yes, okay. So Sienna Ree went up 4 loadout points. Is it cool? Still an I5, or still 5.
Still a nice 6.
Yes, still 5 points at an I6. Gideon Hask, he went down by 1, so now he's 4, and he lost 5 loadout, which is underutilized pilot there, but I'm not sure if 4 points is worth it. I'd rather still take like a V1, honestly, over Interceptor Gideon. Boy Iden went down to 5 from 6. Would still be terrified going against her, just in general. Don't want that at 4 points. Laurier went down to 3, and I love that. Slap some sensitive controls on him, and then you got yourselves just a really nasty blocker. He's got the bendy barrel rolls.
Yeah, like 3 points for an interceptor now.
Mm-hmm. Suntir, he went down to 5, but he lost 5 points in loadout. So he's down to 10, so it's a little bit... He can't do, like, shield upgrade Predator anymore, because Predator spoilers went up to 3 points, so now you have to get a little bit more creative with your Suntir building.
Yeah, I mean, with 2 loadouts, or sorry, 2 talent slots, you can still do like Lone Wolf and Elusive if you really want to make them more tanky that way. But beyond that, yeah, losing the loadout kind of hurts them a little bit. Still worth it at 5 points, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I might lean towards more like Predator Enduring, like targeting computer. That's at 9 points. That's pretty solid.
That's good. Yeah.
Defensive Suntir there. And then Volscaris, who you guys love for some reason, went up 3 points in loadout.
Still won't see play. Yeah.
Still only has a talent and mod slot. Have fun with those 9 points there. I don't know. What do you do? Juke and targeting computer? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I guess.
If you have a coordinator, you get 2 actions, so you still take the evade and focus. That. Or you can take Fifth Brother. Yeah.
All right. TIE Fighters, we had the 2 big changes that I want to cover in TIE Fighters is the Iden and Gideon. Both of them went up to 4 points.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon, sorry.
There is another TIE
yes,
Gideon.
Yep, not Gideon Hask. The good Gideon went up to 4 points. And then we saw Delmico, Gideon, Hask, and Sienna all double their loadout, essentially. So, I don't know. I haven't played around with them yet, so I don't know if that's any good or not. It might be good. I don't know. I think they're trying to give you options to replace Iden and Gideon and Moth, but I'll be honest with you, like it's still going to be kind of hard because both those abilities are a million times better than any of the other abilities. So.
Yeah.
You don't have it on this sheet, JJ, but Zane Marana gained a cannon slot.
Oh, I did miss that.
Yeah. She gained a cannon slot and Delmico gained a mod slot. Who already had a cannon, so that's actually pretty useful too. So you can kind of run some more interesting things there.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. I've been playing around actually with like trying to replace Iden, and Gideon Hask was one of the ones I was looking at. I mean, at 12 points, you can put in elusive and shield upgrade. If you tend to send them against targets that have already been picked off by your other aces, Gideon has a reliable 3-die shot there, and can do some damage there at initiative 4. So I mean, there's some possibilities. Also, Delmico going up to 6. He is a really good defensive buff for your list too. If you need those defensive rerolls, just being able to still equip elusive and
ion cannon.
And ion cannon, yeah. Just being able to provide those rerolls defensively makes them a pretty decent objective grabber as well at the same objective or same initiative rather. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking for a straight swap, I think Delmico would be an option there just because you get the defensive rerolls and also eventually to the rest of your team as well.
Yeah.
Then we had the Phantoms all went down to 5 points. I don't know. We're not going to talk about those tonight. Ubel lost 3 loadout points, and Rampage, finally a tie heavy. Not that I want Rampage, but at least I have a tie heavy at 4 points now.
Well, it's better than Lighten. Lighten used to be 4 points, and that would have been a little bit questionable right now. I love me some Rampage.
I mean, what do you put on him other than sync and targeting
Anything you
assist?
want. Who cares? Let's do something fun. The 4-point tie heavy, they're not doing much anyways. But you can strain people.
Yes, that's true.
And then all of the strikers gain 2 to 3 loadout points. Actually, that's pretty big. I'll be honest, that's pretty big. The strikers are now back on the table. Though they still pop, I think, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. The biggest change, though, is Rear Admiral Shermu is now 7 points and only lost 6 loadout. That's it. And what did Death Troopers do? Oh, they went down in points. So I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, Rack is. I love Rack. And just like I said a little bit earlier, Death Troopers, and if you're not running Vader in your squad for some reason, Vader Crew and Death Troopers still gives you 4 points left over for them.
Yeah.
It's like Agile Gunner and
which is 1 point, by the way. Agile Gunner now is 1 point.
Agile Gunner, spoilers, by the way. I would do something like Agile Gunner Ruthless and Baffle.
Yeah.
Just open up the dial off the Dauntless. I mean, you got 12 health, right?
Yeah.
Or 12 hull, 4 shields. So you got
plenty of health. You're swimming in health there.
Yeah.
Upgrade
also
wise
for Rampage. Sorry. For Rampage, a blade of plating. No one sees that coming. Just plow right through a rock at the people. That's what I would
like
do.
it.
Slam it. Somebody put a Rampage list together and win.
I will do Rampage.
All right, you got to play it next week then. You got to play it next week.
That's a store kid, champ.
Yes!
I've already won one, maybe.
No, nope. You got to win one with Rampage before you win your normal one.
Nice.
Which, by the way, folks, we didn't announce those. We have 2 store champs coming up in Michigan next Sunday. One in Ypsilanti, right?
Yep.
And then at Golden Rhino Games, there's only
Golden Rhino and Ipsy,
7 of us signed up so far. So
I signed up twice. If that makes you feel any better.
You did? Okay, so there's only 6 of us signed up. So we need 2 more. Please at least have 2 more people so that we can run it. I just need 2 more people. We need 2 more people. And then
I'm not gonna lie, I was tempted to actually be like, you know what if I surprise Tanner by going to the store champ?
I could. That would be awesome. It's my birthday the day before, so
yeah.
Birthday rules are in effect when we get there. If I make it to the top table and I'm undefeated, whoever I play against has to concede to me because it's my birthday.
Wasn't one other guy going that's also his birthday the same day? What if you 2 play each other in the finals? Do you just both
just roll? Don't play.
Right? Yeah.
Just roll.
We're just gonna roll. I learned my lesson with Staniszewski. We're gonna roll.
You would rolling in the finals.
Yep.
Never heard of that before.
So Vader Crew. Oh, I'm sorry. And then the second one is in Granville at Gamers Wharf on June 3rd. And that one I'm helping Corey run. It kind of depends. If we only get a few people, Corey will probably play. If not, one of us will be TOing. I don't know if he's going to the Golden Rhino Games one or not. So we'll see. Hopefully something happens and one of us will be able to TO for that. So
also we have one store kit. We haven't figured out a date yet. One store kit for Fun for All in Ipsy. And also I have one for a local shop called Destiny Games in Livonia.
So before you schedule those, just so you know, so we have I don't think we'll have any more in June that I know of. But we're going to have end of July. We're going to have one in Muskegon, Grand Haven. We have another store kit in Grand Haven. We have one in Kentwood. And then we'll have another one in Granville area as well. So our goal is to have in our area at least one a month, to 2 a month. So
Yeah, and I know San Azusi's got one in Warren as well.
Yep.
So
hopefully we don't overlap them. So we did start a
no,
Discord
we're plotting it out to make sure we're not doing that.
All right. Back to points, because we got a million point changes. Vader went down 2 points as a crew. Death Troopers went down 2 points as a crew. Both of those very solid. The Death Troopers confuses the hell out of me. I am not excited. I do not. I want Death Troopers to be banned. Personally, I do not want people to run that shit, and that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna you can put it on Vizier, you can put it on frickin' Faroff now, and I think Faroff is the call. Faroff has two crews.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I use 2 crew on her all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
In a personal slight against me specifically, they bumped up Grand Inquisitor 2 points. And I think it's because I mentioned running that a couple weeks ago.
And why? Why? Like, nobody runs Grand Inquisitor. Like, are you going to run him over Vader? Probably not. Most people are.
I would on Rack, but that's about it. But not anymore because they decided to hate me. I'm the only one that's ever run Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Crew.
So,
okay.
I don't understand that one either. Commandos went up 1 point, and by the way, they went up across the board 1 point.
However, I gotta say that it's not really the true cost of how much they went up, because in order for you, in most cases, to actually run Commandos, you do need that drop seat bay, which went up by like 4 points. So in reality, Commandos are like now 12 points in order for you to actually run them. So yeah,
on a gauntlet, you could run them on. You could run them on a Vizier, JJ, but nobody would.
Yeah, nobody would do that other than me, maybe.
Just you. And Tiber Saxon Gunner went up 4 points, so I think that makes sense. Next, we're going to cover Scum. I'm going to skip around a little bit. And so this is how we're going to do this, boys. We're going to go through them, and then if you have a comment, like I'll go through it. If you have a comment, let me know. When we get to some of the bigger ones, I think we can spend a little bit, like the Fang Fighters, we can spend a little bit more time on. The M3As, I would like to spend a little bit more conversation on, because there's some interesting changes there. But we have every one of the Y-Wings went down 1 point. Everyone, which is needed. Though I don't know who's running a Y-Wing other than maybe Lima and maybe Cavill, but Lima lost a talent slot and 6 points. 6 points. Like,
so,
why?
No,
Cavill lost 11.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I mean, this is a small little combo here, and we haven't gotten to it here. But Captain Seavor has enough loadout now to run missiles, so you can actually set up a proper target lock with Drea and have target synchronizer, and then have Seavor jam somebody and then shoot a missile at them. Could be nice. It's a nice little 5 point combo there, or 6 point combo between the two of them. It's okay.
How about this? I don't think they put thought into the Y-Wing. So they just said, "Oh, we got to cut some loadout, and here's everything a point cheaper." And you're like,
"Oh, they put thought into it because they're like, Cavill, no, you don't get your procket anymore. Only 7 points."
Yeah, right.
No, but okay. But whatever, a 4-point trick pony that gets one shot like that, come on. Like,
I don't like him just in general right now. I would have run it, but also they just did it out of spite too. Also, our prediction of Patrick going down or having any changes is non-existent, because why have useful ships and Scum?
I guess. And the next ones, we had every one of the YT-1300s go down a point, right? So now it's like, oh, I can run 3 of them, and then, by the way, we're going to cut all of the loadout. We're going to kill 6 to 7 points of loadout on L337. Like, why? Oh, Lando, we're going to cut your loadout too. Why? Like, why are you doing this to me? Like, Like, do you just so you're telling us run Han? That's it. Just run Han. That's it. Nothing else. That's the only one.
Dude.
Like, none of these are viable.
They're always bad. I never liked the Scum YT-1300. They are terrible.
Yes, just
now
leave the
they're-
loadout. Leave it alone. Let him.
And now
Let 'em
people
have
might
it.
be tempted to fly them even more, which is great news for me.
Yeah,
Because
they just
those
pop.
ships are hot garbage.
They don't. They don't kill anything. All right,
Yeah, I mean,
Alex.
Han's still at 6, by the way. So it's like, you
Yeah,
still
he
pay
is.
for the luxury of having Han Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Alex. Why don't you hit Fang Fighters?
Yeah, give me the fangs, man. I miss my fangs. Played them way too much. So all of the ones that aren't Tor Fun that recently came out, they gained a mod slot. Which, if anyone's been playing 2.0 and hasn't played 2.5, would think that's absolutely ludicrous. Now they have 2 mod slots.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But everyone but Tor Fun also went down 1 point. Got the Mando Royal Guards. They lost 3 loadout. I don't know what you would ever run them for. Like, I don't know what you would. I don't know.
They're 4 points. That's it.
Yep. So are the good ones. Fenrau went down to 6 and 12 loadout. It is worth noting that Mando Optics and Beskar Reinforced Plating both cost 3 points now, which is why everyone has like 2 mod slots. So they're not necessarily an auto equip, but they're really strong. And Clan Training went down to 1 point as well, the talent. So
Yep.
that's also important. Joey Rekoff lost 4 loadout when he went down. He's still the I don't know. Fangs to me are still not terribly viable, even if they're at 4 points. Might be a controversial opinion because I see them a lot in lists, but I'm not sure how much Fang Fighters those people have played. Cad Solus lost 4 points. I love Cad Solus. You can still run Elusive on him and then 4 other points. Strong combo. Tarok, my favorite Fang Fighter, dropped down to 10 loadout, which is fine. He's still...
I think he becomes more viable now at 5 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can do like Beskar Reinforced Plating, Mando Optics, Fearless, and Marksmanship for 10 points, which seems fine to me.
Or Clan Training if you want to be all thematic, right?
You can. I don't know why you lost your focus at I5.
All right.
That's
all
on
right,
you.
All right. Fair enough.
Honestly, what I
Knock
see
off crates
for
defenseless
me,
targets.
for me to really make clan training viable, I mean, and for people who don't know what clan training is, essentially is that when you engage, you can take a red focus as your action when you start your engagement there.
If you don't have it already.
If you don't have it already, which, unfortunately, your only other option there would be either like a target lock or like the reposition actions, right? Which could be, semi-viable, but the main important thing is that the fangs need like invades in order for them to really survive being attacked before they could get initiative kills. And for me, the only way to reliably get that is debris gambit, which you need your mod slot for that. So if you manage to invest your points into debris gambit and then have clan training for you to get a focus evade, I think that might be possibly worth it. But then you're taking out either Mando Optics or Beskar Plating, which to me, I feel they are essential for these particular platforms to have in order for you to survive a really bad crit, which can completely cripple your Fang Fighter for the rest of the game. So that's my thought. Either that or Enduring, which will be another option there for you. So yeah.
Well, I think
Enduring's a little bit hard to get away with when you're at range 1, though. That's the
exactly.
only problem with that.
Yeah.
I think the key here is what AMG is telling us is we're going to let you have one Fang Fighter in your list, but that's it. No more. And depending where your points are, like Tor Fun with going up to 11 loadout is huge. Like that's the ship I'd be taking right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm not
love
about
Torfun.
Torfun.
I love
He's
him.
an I3 Fang fighter.
I don't care. I love him.
I feel like ship count has gone up a little bit, and that's really bad for Fangs.
All right. Next change is Boba Fett lost 3 loadout points for whatever reason. Don't care. I don't know why they did that. That seems like a dick move. Just AMG, change the ability, AMG. Seriously, just do it. Can we all move on and stop neutering my Boba Fett? Thank you.
He's still really good. You can still fit Fearless, Tail Gunner, and a Force Crew.
I
It
know.
doesn't have to be the child.
I don't care though. Just neuter the damn ability so that I can actually like run Boba. Anyway, whatever. Gauntlet Maul went down to 8 points, but lost the talent slot. I don't know why, but it did.
He didn't lose a talent slot?
He did?
Yeah.
No?
No. Well, okay.
No.
Definitely lost the missile, though. Okay.
He lost the
Okay.
missile, yeah, which
All
they
right.
didn't fix on Yasby. Yasby is all messed up, too, so maybe that's
Yeah, that's
the
right.
reason there.
Yeah.
All right, thank God, because I don't understand why he would lose a talent slot. I mean,
That trick shot, shatter shot, man. That's why.
oh my God. Yeah, all my points into that. No, thank you. Rook lost 4 loadout points. Whatever.
Maul losing 5 loadout points is huge, though. Especially because Drop Seed Bay went up to like almost 4 points for no reason. 5 points.
Yeah.
For reasons, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not bringing all the really nice scum crew. That is also no longer cheap.
Yeah. The next one I get to announce because I'm so excited about this one. This is my favorite change that AMG has made, hands down, across the board, the whole time they've ever existed. Torkel Mux is officially 5 points, and they killed 2 loadout points for him on top of that. Fuck you, Torkel Mux. Go to hell. Best thing that they could do is just ban him. But this way, at least they go, if you really want to invest 5 points in Torkel Mux, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it, because you're not gonna win it. You're not gonna win a sword champ. And I'll tell you what, if Duncan Howard could do me a favor and win with Torkel Mux, I bet you they move him to 6 points. And I'll be even more excited when they do, because I hate that ship so much. Like, I don't care if I never see Torkel Mux or hear from him again, I will be excited.
Torkel Mux literally did nothing at all in the last season. And he went up in points and they cut his loadout purely for spite,
me.
Honestly.
It's for me. I'm telling you, they listen to our podcast. I requested this. I do not want him on the table ever.
Literally not in like anywhere close to being a meta list. Wasn't even the 4th most played Hawk.
However, the actual meta Hawk, which is Gamut Key and Kanan Jarrus, Gamut Key going up to 4 points is huge because he was a really good filler ship for Scum, and bringing him up to 4. Now you got to consider flying him or flying a Fang fighter, right? You know, now that they dropped down to 4. And Kanan Jarrus now losing his loadout value down to 6 points, which is deliberate because that means he can't even use the child now to get the extra force for his ability. That being said, you can still actually run Gamut Key crew on Kanan and just now make him a coordinating defensive ship for your list, being able to get all those tokens there.
They bumped Gamut Key crew up to 8 points. You can run Gamut Key. You run
Protector of Gleb. Sorry, Protector of Gleb. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Gleb's still really good on Kanan. Kanan's still really good. Just take Gleb like you used to have to in the olden days.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Dace Bonar went down too.
Yeah, I think Dace Bonar actually is an interesting choice here. I'll be honest. I do think that's a pretty big thing. I think we'll see Dace show up because Dace gets the Moldy Crow title.
Yeah, Dace gets the title.
And Dace is kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. So we'll see. But I feel Dace should be taken a little bit more often. The problem is just Kanan's ability is just so totes my goats, you know? Like, Kanan is really, really good in what Kanan does.
That being said, now that like the Seeks spoilers have more loadout and can equip ion cannons, Dace is a lot more dangerous now. Because if you get one ion on a large base ship or something, now you're fully ionized.
Yep.
And you lose your lock.
You do, yeah. Now, Dengar went down to 6, but they killed his
I don't know why
loadout.
they did this.
And like, give me why? I'm not going to run Dengar with 11 loadout. What? Why? Why would
Literally
you
cut it in
do
half? Put him back up to 7.
Yeah, just let me have him at 7
points, please.
Yeah.
He was fine. He didn't need to go down. I'm not going to play him at 11 points loadout. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. I mean, I was actually trying to make a viable build for him, and it's like you put on punishing 1, and then you got to make a choice between an astromech or a talent slot because that's all you could really put on him. Like, my goodness.
Yeah, you got 7 points after you put on R4 P8, and you're like, cool. That's, I don't know, plasma torps. That just seems bad, though. Why would I put plasma torps on Dengar?
Yeah. All right.
Down, baby.
The next one's M3As. JJ, tell me what I'm getting for my M3As.
So the M3As actually got a big boost here. So across the board, they all got an increase in loadout value, most of them by 3 points or more. Genesis Red actually gaining an enlisted slot is actually something that's huge because although this particular enlisted went up in points, which is false transponder codes, I'm actually interested on the interaction on it. So if you're not familiar with Genesis Red, essentially when you take a target lock on an opponent, you get to get the number of tokens that they have on them there, right? So if you have false transponder codes, I wonder what happens first though, right? Does that trigger?
After you acquire a lock, so I assume you can put them in which order you would like.
Oh, even better.
Also, Genesis Red, focus and evades, not calculates. Kind of important.
Yes, that's true. But still, that's really huge, especially when you have like lists that can do both, right? Like a Han Solo that could do like the Chewbacca crew with a focus evade, or like other like U-wing lists that can do like both of those things. Being able to lock them, grab their tokens, and then jam them is huge. Like that's actually really good at Initiative 4.
Really
I like
dirty.
that a lot.
I like it.
Yeah, and then the other includes are Quentin Joss getting a cannon slot and Sirisu also getting a cannon slot. However, I do want to caveat that this does not allow them to have proton cannons or sync laser because per an FAQ that's happened before, although they already have that slot and their chassis ability allows them to equip another cannon or so, it does not give them the double cannon slot that they need to equip proton cannons or sync laser cannons.
Which also applies to the T-70s and the
Yes.
Z-95s, who also have roughly the same ability.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tragic.
Yeah. I think the other big one is Sunny Bounder gets 3 more points. So Sunny Bounder can now actually be like a little bit more viable than they were before.
Ion cannons.
Like, I don't know. That seems pretty good. I don't know. I like that. I'm a little sad we didn't get a couple 2-point M3As, but whatever. I mean, that's fine.
I mean, I honestly I would actually run Sunny with Ion Cannon and with Daze Bone Arm, right? Because if you manage to get that 1 or 2 on a large spaceship, just use Daze's ability to add more ions and you can fully ionize a large spaceship. Or a medium base if you only get 1 on there. So it's really good. I like it.
I like it on Sarisu now that she has the cannon, so you can do a cannon and maybe something else. But that way you can shoot at I-5 with the ions and then daze them, so they do lose like any ability to do extra actions or their target lock if they're coming in at you or whatever.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
believe Sarisu also gained a talent slot. She has 2 now, so
nice.
That maybe she already had 2. I thought she only had 1. I might be
that I don't. Yeah, so that I don't remember at all. So maybe she did, maybe she didn't.
All I remember is proton torpedoes, honestly.
All right, so Captain Sievert going down to 3 points. is needed. Give me some Captain Seavor. Thank you
Lost
very
his
much.
cannon slot though.
Did lose a cannon slot and lost 3 loadout points. So
Still got missiles though. I mean,
Doesn't matter. Still my favorite ship.
Yeah.
Yep. And I got an alt art for Captain Seaver, so I can put it on the table. I don't know. So we're gonna
such an asshole. I love him.
We're gonna skip Rogue Class for a second here, and we're gonna move on to the Mandalorian, who went down to 6 points and lost half his crew, or I'm sorry, half his loadout points,
and half his crew,
and half his crew slots, a cannon slot, and a mod slot. And I don't like the cannon slot. Whatever, I don't care. But like, you killed the talent, you killed the crew slot, you killed a mod. Why? And why is it 10? Just leave him at 7 points.
Yeah.
Like,
so
he's worthless now.
He was almost playable at 7
it
points.
Is. This is a very thematic Mandalorian. You know why? Because in season 2, he basically lost all of that after his adventures trying to deliver the Frog Lady. So this is a very accurate Mando. This is season 2 Mando.
All right. Well, I don't like it. So I find this is a pointless endeavor.
Yeah, basically Q9 is the default ST-75. Yeah.
I don't know why they did that to Mandalorian. That was like
he wasn't even a
same thing with Dengar.
Like,
yeah.
Lots got a 5-6 point increase. That's not super huge, but that is she's now a contender with Afra actually. Because Afra's 22 loadout as well. I think there it is. Bosk is the other big one. Bosk went down to 6 points. Now Bosk lost 8 or 6 loadout points, but who cares? I don't like Bosk didn't lose anything but 6 loadout. All right, bring it on. Bosk at 6 points. That is gonna be you're gonna see Bosk at 6 points. That's like Bosk is there. If you run Scum, Bosk feels like a huge replacement because could you take Afra? Could you take Boss, who hits harder, who does more?
I'd take Afra all day. I'd take Lazrazi over Boss, honestly. I'm not a big fan of
Boss. Or just run all 3 with a Nash the Pup and you got a 20-point list with a ton of hull. It's pretty good, guys.
Yeah. Nash the Pup up 1 point for whatever reason.
Disrespect.
Yeah.
And then put Jabba the Hutt on Afra, and congratulations, you have all the illicits on there for all your guys. Yeah,
my contraband though.
And Bosk Headhunter went down to 2 points. Lost all of his loadout but 3 points. So basically, you could run marksmanship.
Dead man.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So all right, it's cool. I like it. I'm here for it. But now, JJ, tell me about my rogues. What in God's green earth happened to the rogues?
So I have been building with all these rogues because they are great now. Fantastic options at 4 points. You got Cad Bane at 4 points, Victor Hell, Non-Lub, and Outer Rim Hunter, which is the generic, all at 4 points there. Now, in exchange for that, they did lose some of the loadout value here. Cad Bane losing 5, Victor Hell also 5, and Non-Lum took a nosedive with 8 loadout points lost there. But still, 4 points there. They can still equip proton cannons. They can still put on elusive. They can still put on an enlisted on there or mix and match as you want. Cad Bane with the crew can still put on other crew members on there, or you can run them with bombs. They still have a lot of flexibility at that loadout value, and at 4 points, they are almost an auto include in your scum list now.
Yeah, you know what they didn't get? None of them got the title. Nobody got the title added.
Yeah.
I think for me, Namlam is actually the spiciest one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Namlam is kind of the bigger winner here. Now upgrades, and we really got to move on. I really got to get on to another faction because we're only into 2 factions. So Forlom went up to 8 points. I don't understand why. I just don't. Ahsoka crew went up to 10. That's fine. Fen Rao crew went up to 7. That's
that hurts.
Yeah,
that hurts actually. That hurts a lot.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Gamut crew went up to 8. I understand why there. Almec Almec. Prime Minister Almec went up 1 point. Nobody
Only
runs that
despite
but
that.
Zach. That's it.
Exactly.
I've never seen anyone put that on the table. Zach and I are the only people I've ever known to ever actually put that on the table, ever. And I hated running it, so I stopped running it. Whatever. And Zuckus went up to 6. Again, Zuckus
Brutal.
is worthless. It's like a bullshit crew. It's just like a BS crew you would throw on. I don't do not
Well,
understand
I mean,
the
This is
logic of it.
good, but like I don't know why he's at 6. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
maybe because Cad Bane went to 4, but
Exactly.
like, even then,
That's the only reason why you
Make
went
him
up is
4
because Cad went to 4 points, and for me, Zuckus as a crew member would have been an auto include on Cad Bane if you're able to use it reliably.
yeah. Well, the problem is that like rogue classes, right? They tend to do like the reposition, so they do get stressed. You can't use Zuckus anyways.
That's
Yep.
true.
So
That's true.
I didn't think it was like a major threat to put it on one ship.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
whatever.
Bosk went down. You could put, so maybe they wanted to curtail that a little.
That and Fenrau crew is a thing too. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, but
All right, let's move on to Resistance. So Resistance is a pretty easy one to talk through. We're going to start with the Star Fortresses. All the Star Fortresses got 8 points or more of loadout. They're still extended, so whatever. But I'm telling you for Nickel City League here, you run Resistance, you can now actually really run Star Fortresses, like really. I don't know if they're planning to make them like standard at some point, but whatever.
My guess is that's probably coming down the pipeline. That's my guess. But you can at least afford one proximity mine on these Star Fortresses.
All right, stop. No, you can't. You still can't. You're never gonna take it.
you can take a proxy mine and one other bomb.
All right, Alex, tell me about Y-Wings. Is it a good thing they came all down in price?
So Resistance Y-Wings were very good initially in 2.5 when they were 3 points. A lot of it had to do with the ability to like 3 bank and boost and get a calculate. And they were like solid kind of tankier ships. Now they don't have like crazy loadouts like they did anymore, but also like wartime went down, so that's them trying to balance it a little bit. Because wartime went down to 2 points, which is good. I like 2 extra shields, but I still feel like if I'm going to run the 3-point Y-Wings, I'd rather just have the like engine upgrades and the target computers for that.
Agreed.
So Chorus, he went down 3 points and lost 7 points of loadout. He's the one that steals green tokens that I won. He's kind of a pain.
Yep.
Liga lost half her loadout down to 7. She also lost a talent because the Tirfon belly run was really oppressive, so
let me hit a rock and take the damage and still shoot you. Okay.
But also here's another reason why you would run not wartime loadout Y-Wakes is because she gets rerolls on turrets and primaries when there's calculating ships in the arc.
Yep.
So unless you're really trying to push BB-8 in there a lot, it's better to run just the Y-Wings. Shaza Zaro also went down. She's the one that lets you copy green tokens in the back half of her when people defend. Or when she defends, she can like copy a green token to people behind her at range 0 to 2. It's kind of complicated. But she's at 9 points of loadout, and that is critical because that is an ion turret, engine upgrade, and targeting computer. And that's really, I think the break point right there is 9 points for that kind of stuff. And then Zori went down 1 point, but in 8 points of loadout. So she's no longer just like this incredible proton torp carrier. You now actually have to try to do something useful with her. But at 4 points, that's a really rough spot to compete with the rest of Resistance.
Yeah. So my question is with Zori, right? Because originally with Zori, what we saw her load out with was, wartime loadout, right? Giving her that extra buff into her health and stuff. At 4 and with a reduced amount of loadout, do you still run wartime loadout, or do you now consider the boosty Zori with probably an ordinance with her to try to maybe get that off more
Well, she doesn't
reliably.
have a torp or missile slot.
Oh yeah, that's
The
right. That's right.
gives them that. So
Wartime
she's
gives it to you. Yeah.
dropping bombs and shooting turrets, but at 4 points, you can take a wealth of A wings and now a wealth of T-70 spoilers. So I'm not sure if she has much of a place right now in Resistance.
That's true.
But I like Shaza a lot. That would be kind of my go-to Y-wing, just with that loadout that I mentioned earlier.
So the next big change, and this is AMG listening to us for once, for fuck's sake. Finn is 4 points. I don't care. You got 3 more loadout, whatever. You're 4 points. Screw you, Finn. And I think, I'll be honest, I think Finn is still good at 4 points. You know, like, I don't actually, and getting 3 more loadout is pretty good for him. So I'm not going to say you're not going to ever see Finn again, but Finn went from auto include to strategic include, in my opinion. And because now Finn has to compete with, again, spoiler alert, T-70s, which we'll cover in a minute. But, and I won't say, I mean, in fairness, Finn is still probably pretty viable at 4 points. Like, I don't see Finn going away. He's a great damage dealer, and he's a great
Defender. Yep.
defender.
He's an incredible consistency and efficiency piece. And now with 15 points of loadout, you could do pattern analyzer with perceptive and heroic.
Yeah, I was actually going to say advanced optics.
Or
and
optics.
Yeah, because if a lot of times people just don't bother to shoot with him, now he could just add a blank result, not even strain himself, and then just spend one of his extra focuses or focus tokens to convert.
Yep.
Super good.
So again, maybe I'll be cursing AMG because of this, but whatever. Like I feel this is a good change because at least we're gonna get a little bit more consistency. And he has, again, like across the board, been a staple and no longer is the staple. Now it's more of a play style, list style type thing, right? That's what this is.
Yeah.
ZZ, I lost 5 loadout. Sorry. I don't know who pissed them off about ZZ. This is stupid. I just
my Procket.
I am dumbfounded. Anybody would change ZZ. ZZ was not a menace at 5 points as it was. Like, I don't know. To me, this feels like a mistake. At least give me ZZ at 4 points then. If you're going to do this, give me 4 point ZZ, and I will run that. I'll do
4 point ZZ is really strong. I don't know about that.
Yes. Give it to me. Then we saw some changes. We saw Chewbacca go down to 6 points.
That's not okay.
There's no reason for that. Lando went down to 7, which makes sense. That I feel was a needed thing.
Yeah.
No change to Poe, which is crazy to me. And Ray went down to 7 points, and they didn't. No one adjusted loadout at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god! You just said, "Hey, do you want to run T-70s or do you want to run Ray? You pick."
Both.
And they're gonna go, "I want to run Ray." And oh, by the way, you can run Ray, Poe, Chewbacca.
Yes,
you could do this now. Like, I don't know why you would. I do know why you would. I do 100% know why you would. You could do this. Like, I'm confused. Thank God they didn't put Lando at 6 points, because then Lando would just be an auto include. I would have to go buy another T-70 just to fucking run this list. Seriously.
So here's the other kicker, right? Because you can do Poe, Ray, and then Venny, who has the same exact loadout as Chewbacca and gets to add focus results for ships that have a turret arc. Which, congratulations, you have 2 other ships that have turret arcs, and you can now add. Arc. Yeah, yeah, it is so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I am befuddled why Chewbacca went to 6 points. I like, and so you gave me Chewbacca at 6 points, and then you lowered Y-wings again. Like, are we just gonna run Y-wings and Chewbacca again? Like, is that like, I don't know. I do not like this change. That is the epitome. I think Poe should have gone to 8 and left Ray at 8, and then Lando should have come down, and that was it. And Chewbacca could stay at 7, and that's fine.
Chewbacca being at 6 is disgusting. I don't think I can emphasize that even more.
Yeah, it's like I would have been okay with the points as they left it like there, but only if they changed out the loadout values for those Falcons. Because honestly, what makes them good is their efficiency of the crew that you can equip onto them, and that's just what makes them really, really good. Honestly, it's really surprising that they are the best ship in the faction now.
The theory is, this is my theory. This is my true theory here, is that somebody said nobody runs more than one Falcon because you can't take Ray Crew on all the Falcons. That is my theory. You can't take the title. You can't take Ray Crew if you run Ray. So my theory is somebody convinced AMG that don't worry, nobody will run multiple Falcons in Resistance because you can't take Ray Crew. If you take Ray, you can't take the title on more than one. And I'm here to tell you, folks, it's not gonna fucking matter.
And then Duncan Howard wins another store champ with 3 Falcons coming up next. Watch.
100%. Like, I don't know if that's viable or not, but I will be honest with you. Like,
I want to try it. Yeah.
3 Falcons to run. Like, you bring tiny little rocks or ions or gas clouds. I don't know. Like, here, let me run 2 around the corner and 1 up the middle. Merry Christmas. I'm gonna destroy something.
Yeah.
It is also worth noting that you can do Chewbacca plus 5 other ships now.
Stop.
Oh my!
Do not tell me.
You can do 4 3-point ships in BB-8.
Yep.
And your 4.3, your 4 3-point ships could be up to 3 Y wings, up to 2 A wings. I guess 2 different fireballs if you want that too.
Yeah. Where's Staniszewski on this? That's what I want to know. I want to know where the fuck Staniszewski and what list he's building or that he's crafting with the crates, because
he's looking at SOC stuff in Republic for some reason.
To me, it would be Chewbacca. Like, I don't like Resistance very well personally. It's not like my bread and butter. But I mean, I don't know. Corey sent me a Chewbacca list that's really disgusting. Mine is his love for LO that you hate.
I am more of a fan of Chewbacca plus 4 than I am Chewbacca plus 5.
Yeah,
you can make some real dirty things with Chewbacca and 4 other ships.
It's bad. I'm telling you right now. Like, Chewbacca should not have gone down. That's, I don't know. Anyway, we got to keep moving because it's already 10:30. JJ, you get all the X-wings.
Yes. So we got quite a bit of T-70 X-Wings that got a points reduction on here. So down the list here, Kai Threnali, that's the Abadi X-Wing when you go through another friendly, going down to 4 points. Elo Atti, the I-5 super turnaround X-Wing, going down to 4 points as well. J. Chris Tubbs, the ship, if I'm not mistaken, that's the
dress.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Going down to 4. Jessica Pava, who wants to formation fly, going down to 4 as well.
Just should be 4. Nimi should be 4.
Yeah, exactly. Karakun, who is the Daredevil booster, T-70, going down to 4 points as well. Nimi Shireen at 4 points as well. And then Temin Wexley, this is the original Temin.
The good one.
Yeah, the good one. Yeah, it's a 4. And then Benisa Doza, who's a brand new pilot that we came out recently, coming down to 4 as well. Now, along with those point changes, they did lose a bit of loadout value as well across the board for all those there.
An actual meaningful amount of loadout.
Yeah. However, it's still enough for them to still equip a decent talent slot and a cannon if you really want to, or maybe like a good astromech or even a shield upgrade on some of these as well, if you really want to as well. And then we got the other T-70s, Joff C. Striker, which I have no idea what he does, getting a boost to 13. Lieutenant Bastian, which is actually a really good support T-70, being able to get that, coming up to 14 points. And then Ninam, my personal favorite, getting 16 points. I am really tempted to run them with overdrive thrusters, overdrive modulators, or I forget.
Overdrive thrusters.
Overdrive thrusters. Yeah, there you go. just being able to get that extra like boost or barrel roll whenever he does like those red maneuvers, and it's really nice. I like it a lot.
By the way, Joff Sea Striker, that's the old red ace, the one where if you take damage, you can evade. Like if you lose a shield, you can evade.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's
that's
actually
right.
not too bad.
Yeah,
And also, Black 2 Snap Wexley went down to 5 points, which is not something you should consider. It's
yeah,
not nothing to scoff at.
yeah.
Yes. Except for Alex doesn't like my list with him in it.
And then going down to the upgrades for the resistance, nothing but buffs for them. BBH and BB Astromech going down to 5 and 4 points respectively. They're the system phase boost or barrel roll, or just barrel roll for BB Astromech. Wartime loadout, as we talked before, going down to 2 points. Lay Organa crew going down to 14, which is huge considering that that's only going to buff Covenel. And then Ray Gunner as well, which is like the de facto gunner going down to 10 points. Is like, do we need to buff Poe? Yeah, sure. Let's give him more options here. Yeah, golly.
You got 25 loadout. We just gave you 2 more.
Yeah.
So with the talks of Covenel, because spoilers, R4 also went back down to 2 points.
Yep.
You can still do Leia R4 and like proton cannons now if you really wanted to, or like
golly.
yeah, because you have 4 points left over after those kinds of things. So it's actually something to consider for your one Kova fan out there who's not named Duncan Howard.
And thank God that the ability for Covenel is only on primary, not on proton cannons.
Right.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right, let's move on to Republic. All right, so we start off with the ARC 170s. Every one of them went down a point. So that's super neat. We'll look at Rebels in a minute and see similar things. Anyway, so they all went down a point and they lost about half their loadout, minus Sinker, who, by the way, folks, Sinker lost 3 loadout. Don't worry, you can still run Sinker. Sinker, like, I don't understand the logic in this. Sinker's at 4 points and has all the loadout. Whatever.
Well, the Sinker's at 5. He went down from 6 to 5.
Okay, so okay,
Yes,
JJ,
that makes sense.
Thank God, because I didn't understand why in God's green earth we were getting a 4-point Sinker.
No,
But
Sinker went down to 5. But
Sorry, that's my
also,
fault.
Sinker is now the only arc that has a crew slot. Kind of useless in Republic, but you can use it if you want. Like Wolfpack probably is your best bet there.
I think the oddball SOC change is huge. Like, it's a 5-point oddball arc. I cannot stress enough. Oddball has been the bane of like Republic. Everybody wants to run them, but nobody can. I'm telling you right now, that is a viable oddball. I don't care what anyone like. That competes, in my opinion, with Wolf.
It's better than Wolf.
So
I've been saying this whole time since SOC came out that SOC oddball is really, really good.
Yeah, I gotta say though, going back to Sinker, having that crew slot, you're able to put in Plo Koon crew who can give them a purple reinforce and then help repair a face-up damage card if they're in the side arc of Sinker. I mean, that just makes them very tanky, and on top of that, you're providing passive rerolls with the ability already with the side arc. I mean, that's a almost, for me, I think that would be a staple for Sinker, just having Plo Koon crew.
Yeah, maybe. I could see it. I think.
Yeah, in a beef list. Yeah,
I could see it. We'll move into Y wings. I don't know if it's really that big a deal. R2D2 went down to 3, Matchstick 3, Broadside 3.
Matchstick
Everybody
is
lost.
The only ship that went down 2 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because for some reason he was at 5.
Nobody flew him.
But
lost all the loadout. So I don't know. Like, I think Broadside is the only one, maybe, but Broadside's ability is kind of, I don't know, meh.
Broadside's great. I love
Eh,
broadside. Just
eh.
just a really consistent ion turret carrier.
Yeah, same with Matchstick. Yeah, Matchstick is really good.
R2D2 was actually pretty solid still because has the crew slot.
Yes.
Don't sleep on that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Z95s went down to 2 points, boost and slider.
They chose my two favorite ones.
Yeah, so cool, I guess. That's really what Republic needed. I think slider is 100% slept on, and I think slider for 2 points you could put, because you can still put sync console, right?
Yeah, sync
Yeah.
console is 1 point.
Or dedicated. Dedicated is 3
Dedicated
now,
is
right?
3 out of what I
Yeah.
could assume is pure personal spite against me as well.
No, I know what. No. It's not you. It's because they're stupid and they leave all these stupid, freaking token sharing amongst themselves. If we didn't have all the
Yeah.
token sharing, dedicated could just be 1. But with all the token sharing, you can't have dedicated. I'll be honest, they could have just banned dedicated. To be honest with you,
It'd be tragic.
I don't care. You know what? You can also ban all the token sharing, and then you can have your dedicated back, Alex.
And then just not have any rebel faction.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you 100%. They were viable before that. I will say though, the boost I don't care about. Slider 100% is cool. Like
Boost is incredible. I love Boost.
I think Boost is good for assault.
Boost is. I have dodged so many arcs with Boost, just using his ability, which is not limited to himself. So it's like literally anyone next to him that did the blue maneuver that's on your team. You can boost off of that. Anytime anyone got range 1 of me, Defender Vader, I just boost right past him. It's disgusting. The things that Boost can do. I like Boost more than I like Slider. And I've played both extensively.
I prefer Slider. Plo Koon got more loadout. Went to 14, so they're like, do you want to play Plo Koon? Come on. Whatever. I don't know. I don't think that's bad. I think it makes it a contender, to be honest with you, but it's really hard to ignore 3/4 Obi.
Plo Koon is a very underrated support piece.
But I still think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, what would you put on Plo Koon, right? Because he doesn't have a mod slot because he already has CLT, the 7, Delta 7. So, you know, he doesn't have a mod slot because he's occupied by CLT. The astromech you could put on him is either going to be R2 or Chopper at 8 points, and then you got 6 point left over for either Force or Talent slot. I mean, what would you consider even putting on Plo Koon?
Chopper, Predator, Patience.
Chopper, Predator, Patience. Okay.
Or R2D2 if that's not already part of your list somewhere.
That's fair. Okay.
I mean, you can bump it up to Crackshot. You have 1 more point left over, but I like Predator more if you're not going to run a list with a lat, which you probably aren't. The Patience is really good with his ability itself because they are both the same trigger. So you can pass a focus token and then Patience the force you just spent back on it.
Interesting. Nice.
Also, if you really wanted to, you can take off CLT and get your mod slot back, but that's probably
don't
outmaneuver Patience.
Outmaneuver Patience is a thing too. I think that's good too. I don't know. I like Plo Koon, personally, but and I don't care the 7B. All they did is give them 2 more loadout. Who cares?
Oh, I like 7 point. I like 7B Plo Koon as well. But
yeah, but whatever. They gave them 2 points. I mean, I don't think that changes the world. So
I think I played more Plo Koon than I have any other Aether Sprite.
Now Ada's seen some love.
A lot of love.
Anakin Ada going down to 4 points. The SOC version, that's pretty scary because you can run him and Obi for 8 points, and I'm telling you right now, that's pretty good. Shock T going down to 4 points is pretty good, but she lost 8 loadout. So basically, they said, we're gonna give it to you, but you can't take shield upgrade anymore if you want her. Which sucks. That sucks. To me, that sucks a lot. And they did Yoda so dirty. oh, we're gonna give you Yoda at 4 points, but you're gonna lose 4 loadout. And it's like, why? He's an I3. He's an I3. He's gonna die. I don't know. I love Yoda. I do. But you can now run 5. You can run 4 Adas and something else if you want. You can run 5 Adas because you can run Kit Fisto. I forgot they lowered Kit Fisto too.
Well, no, they just gave him a cannon slot. He was always 4. But now that he has a cannon slot, people might actually play him. Because I'm not sure if people realize it. His ability just doesn't have a range, by the way.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
no.
It doesn't. Yeah, no.
I'm not sure if anyone oversighted that, but all you have to do is bullseye someone.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I think that Anakin Ada that's huge.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Any Ada, still can take a shield upgrade and still equip Malice. And probably still have, let's see, that gives 11 points, so he can still put on elusive if he wants to as well, with his ability being able to take away stress tokens after he does a red maneuver. Makes him very, very effective knife fighter. You don't really need to put a cannon slot on him. You can if you want to, but Annie is just really, really good, a really good piece at 5 points. You can put both him and the either the Ada Obi-Wan as well. That's 4 points, or heck, even the Siege of Coruscant Annie, if you're not too concerned about using the auxiliary ion cannon, both him and Obi-Wan at 4 points. That's incredible value for Adas.
And you have 12 points left over, and mysteriously you have 3 SOC arcs that are also 4 points. Weird.
Yep.
Yeah. Stop.
Oh,
stop it.
And then also use Born for this. Yes.
Yeah, for everything. No evades, though. I mean, you just take your own evade, but yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Edas, mostly because if you have to play real perfectly with them.
Yeah.
Not a lot of forgiveness with them. I like it when other people play them because people are bad with them. But I mean, 4-point Eda Anakin can do some really nasty things if you do it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's move
Less
on.
convinced on SOC Obi-Wan. Eda, though. Anakin's much better. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. We'll move on to Gauntlets. Bo, 6 points. But, oh, hey, we're going to kill 8 points to load out. Bo is 1,000,000% unplayable at all. Like, there's no reason to run a Gauntlet ever. Ever in Republic now. Like, sorry.
I'm not sure if you guys noticed that they removed the restrictions off the titles for the Gauntlet. So any Gauntlet that has the title slot can take them.
They did. I have a feeling that might be a mistake, but we'll see.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I feel that's a mistake on their behalf.
Probably.
But I won't lie and say that I have Night Brother on Pre-Vizsla right now. So.
There you go.
Or not Pre-Vizsla, on Bo-Katan. So, just saying. Anyway. I don't care about the generic at all. Hawk went up to 6 points, but doubled his loadout. So I don't know. It just tells me you take Sicko. What they're doing, what they need to do with Lats is they need to have a configuration card for Lats.
Yes.
And we just can move on with our life. I need a configuration
1000%.
card. People are still going to run Sicko. It's not, and Sicko's good. I don't care what people say. Sicko's good. But
I love Sicko. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that's ever played him, but I love Sicko.
I have played Sicko. Thank you.
His time on target's great.
Yes, I love Sicko personally. I still think Hawk at 6 points, with the loadout value is 100% playable if you want that piece for rerolls in there, plus a very aggressive Hawk. I don't know.
You can do something like Ayla Crew and 7th Fleet Gunner if you're really kind of aiming towards that, but that's a lot of points for that.
Yeah.
I might be out on Lats. That's really sad.
Yeah. Padme went down to 4 points, and Rick Olay, baby, is 4 points. You're gonna see Rick Olay no matter what. And Rick Olay gets another talent slot too. Like, what? Why?
Because you need a Daredevil and an actual other talent.
But stop it! Stop doing that. I don't want that.
Daredevil's
Ugh.
expensive now, anyways. It's fine.
Um,
I mean, Juke Predator or Juke Elusive? I don't know. Golly.
mm,
Padme being at 4 is actually quite disgusting.
Yes.
That's a little bit. I'm just like, that's really
Yeah.
good. And so
Or-
is Luminara.
Yeah, exactly. As I was going to say, you're going to see some Lumi Padme listing make it in there as well. Which honestly, granted, Republic has a lot of toys at 4 points now that make them very, very good. However, with that being said, they have a lot of options there, which means that you're going to see a lot more variety of lists there. You're not necessarily going to see Siege of Coruscant constantly being played over there. I'm definitely excited to see different versions of Republic lists out there, considering that you have so many options at the different points values now for the Republic. Makes them feel a little more viable there. But we'll see how the meta shakes out.
Yeah, there's a list that I was like putting together for like Padme and like 7B. Lumi, that's 10 points. You put in the 2 Z95s, that's 14. You can either put another 6 or another two 3-point ships, and you put the 2 3-point ships in there, and you got like Axe or whatever, or one of the SOC torrents, and then like Contrail or something, and that actually seems pretty decent.
Yeah.
so I'm going to apologize. I don't think we're going to get to lists tonight.
Yeah,
I
at
really
the rate that we're going. Yeah.
I really wanted to get to lists though. I don't know.
But we got plenty of lists to review over the next few weeks. Thank you, everybody who's submitted a list. We are very excited to go through them. It's just points, unfortunately. There's quite a bit of changes there. So we want to make sure that we do cover those just for us to review this and see the impact on that they could potentially have in the meta. But we absolutely get through those lists in the coming episodes.
And maybe we'll do a midweek episode or something. I don't know.
Hey, yeah.
All right, so let's keep moving. Contrail Click SOC went up to 4 points, 100% needed. Oddball V-Wing coming down to 3 points, 100% seems good.
Okay.
What? You don't like that?
I'm not a oddball V-Wing kind of guy.
All right, whatever. I don't care what you say. I like it. I think that's a good move. Axe coming down to 3 points, but not upping kickback. You're just, I don't know. Whatever. You just take X. Cool. R7 A7 Astromech went up to 5. I do not understand why. And
Annie, basically. Yeah.
whatever. Q7 comes down to 1.
Still useless.
Well, they don't want things like upgrades at 0 points now, which is why, like, spoilers, I guess, like Jamming Beam and Tierfon are 1 point. Because Q7 should probably be like -6. I think it's garbage. I hate that thing.
Besh title goes up to 1 point.
Probably needed.
Yep, I'm okay with that. Ayla Crew, though, comes down to 12 points.
That'd be good if you had crew carriers in the Republic.
You do, they're just 6 points.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Sinker. Sinker could take it.
Yeah, Commandos, whatever. Dedicated, we already covered, went up to 3. And the big one, folks, is 7th Fleet Gunner is 13 points. They are essentially could just have banned it, and we wouldn't be in this conversation. Because why 13? Just ban it. I'm excited because I hate 7th Fleet Gunner with a passion. Like, I hate that card. I do. I don't think that card. I don't think that card should be in the game. But
we're gonna take our 6 chassis of 2 dice attacks and bring it up to 3, baby. 13 points.
Well, probably because they don't want any of the gauntlets to run it, since they only have 12 points of loadout. But surprise, they're still useless. Like
Sicko also has 12 points of loadout, so you can't do
true.
7 Fleet Sicko. I also take this as a personal attack against my playstyle.
No, this
Awesome,
is Duncan
man.
Howard.
Man.
He fucked us with that.
All right, guys. So we still got some big factions to cover. Do we have enough time to do one more?
Yes. Well, I want to
All
go through all of them.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine if we go through all. We'll just not get into lists tonight. So
yeah. All right, let's go.
So I'm gonna pick Rebels next because I think
Yes.
Rebels, to me, Rebels had the most exciting changes. Period. So JJ, you can have B Wings because I don't understand why they did this
Yes.
either.
So I think that we're in a good spot now with the B-Wings overall. They across the board got some good buffs, with the exception of 10 and Braylon, which I'm A-okay with their abilities, with their loadouts, make them really powerful. They did not need to come down to 4 points, but we got Gina Moonsong coming down to 4 points, Harrison Doolin, the B-Wing, coming down to 5 points, Netram Pollard and the two generics also coming down to 4 points. They did lose a bit of loadout across the board for all of them, with Hera coming down from 20 points all the way down to 14 points. But still, she's still an I6B wing that can do a lot of damage. She can still double tap reliably, especially with the cannons coming down in price, specifically Sync Laser or her access to proton cannons. She can still do a lot of damage, double tap, and still pass out tokens if you set it up correctly. Still really good.
And arcs all went down in points too. They all lost their crew slots. Nora
Brutal.
went down to 5 points, but lost all the loadout. Like they all lost loadout. Like I don't know. I don't understand these changes either because I don't feel I'm going to want to take them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they had no crew.
I was curious about adding the second slot to Nora. Like, what the hell are you going to put on Nora? Like for a second slot? Like what?
I don't know.
Golly.
She has 8 points, so you're just like, I don't. Hopeful. That's 1 point. That's a boost. That's kind of cool, I guess.
So I don't know. I don't see the value here, but whatever. I guess we'll see. Huge change in Y wings. We see 2 of them going down to 3 points. Horton Slam going down to 3 points, even though he lost 7 loadout. I still think it's pretty big. Horton Slam is a sleeper. People sleep on that ship a lot.
Yeah.
And you did Dutch not go down to 3?
No, he did not.
Okay.
However, the core, they did provide us the points for the core set. Dutch Vander, which is coming in at 4, Hall Arklin coming in at 3, and then Horton Psalm coming in at 4 for the core set there, which they also did. We did get spoilers for those standard loadout cards, but we'll have to review them at a different
Core
time.
Dutch should not be 4 points.
Yes.
Core Dutch is terrible. It's an ion cannon turret and proton bombs.
Yes.
Don't
absolutely.
even have anything with the target lock requirement. Good use of an ability.
E-Wings went down. I don't care, though.
Nick Sperry cares.
Nick, all right,
It's true.
Nick, it's for you. Other than that, nobody cares. Keep moving. Just keep moving. Fang Fighters. Alex, what do you see in Fang Fighters?
Well, with the exception of the Clan Ren Volunteers, like in Scum, they all gained their second modification slot. Boudica and Dirk are now 4 points, and Fen Rao is now 5 points with 10 points of loadout, which is exactly the same as Fen Rao and the Sheathapede, which is really funny to me.
Yes.
Man, don't take either, by the way. But I like the Boudica and the Dirk loadouts. I like the Beskar reinforced, the optics. You can kind of make them worth it. 4 points is hotly contested in Rebels, I would say, though. So I'm not sure if I'd bring a Rebel Fang, but it is a welcome change.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that Fen Rao will probably make a little bit more of an appearance now for Rebels. And the reason being for that is that the cheap crew carriers for Rebels, other than the U-Wings, suffered a bit. When you take a look at the AP5 or Fen Rao, or ships that can actually carry Leia. Them being more expensive, it makes it harder for Rebels to circumvent the whole stress mechanic with like 4Ks and stuff. Fen Rao at least provides an option with him being able to remove stress whenever a ship engages. That does enable some list that rely on that piece there to remove that piece of stress there. So I think that he does have a role to play in the Rebels currently with the loss of their reliable crews that can deal with that.
I mean, there might be something like Fenrod with Benthic, and then like their 2-pointer and a couple 4-pointers, like a couple X-Wings or something. Like that seems kind of interesting because you can give Fenrod that evade token.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. 5-point Fenrod or boy Luke. Spoilers, by the way. I think I just take Luke the whole time.
Yep. Force is good.
Gauntlets both went down to 6 points. They lost a whole poop ton of loadout. I think Ezra is possibly playable. Chopper's possibly playable.
They're certainly interesting options. Honestly, they're pretty beefy. I kind of like them. Do you take a gauntlet or do you take 2 A-wings? That's the hot question. But
well, I'll tell you what. My Dirge one-shotted 2 A-wings the last game I played. So if that had been a gauntlet, it would still be alive. So I just tell you right there, like, make your own choices. But 8 health versus what 11 health? Yeah, and plus
Sure.
plus you could put Beskar. No, you can't put Beskar, but you could put God, what's the Enduring? There you go.
Oh, true.
You could take Enduring. I don't know. I agree with you. It's an interesting choice. We'll see, though. We'll see. Hawks went down to 5. Lost loadout. I don't.
Kyle and Rourke went down to
You
5. Jan is still
care?
6.
I
That's
don't
important.
Anybody cares? I don't think any of them are going to get played.
Kyle's really good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play him at 5 points, but he's still really good.
Yeah, I don't. At 4 points, it's a discussion. At 5,
At 4
I don't
points
know.
without the title, it's a discussion.
I mean, you could still carry Generoso Crew and pass out a focus. Pretty good.
Come on, Jay. I could take Bentic or Saw or anyway. Let's just keep moving. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah, the big ones right here, though.
Yeah.
The Falcons.
All the
YT-1300s.
Falcons went down to 7 points. Leia, Lando, and Han. So if you didn't play them before, by the way, folks, they're all 7 points. Which flavor do you want to play?
And none of them lost any loadout. They just went down 1 point.
This is Resistance all over again.
So now you can finally play 2 Falcons and a Gauntlet if you really want to just be silly.
Thank God there's no. Thank God there's no 6-point Falcon. Can you imagine?
So, spoiler alert, with Rourke coming down to 5 points, you can essentially equip Leia with a ton of force and a missile. Use Rourke to have her engage at Initiative 7, and then also use Han Gunner to engage at Initiative 7. So you get a double tap out the front arc with a force carrier that probably has a couple of extra tokens, and and probably shoot down some things.
Didn't they errata Han that you can't shoot anything else? Just the turret.
So
you're right.
Just a turret. Yeah,
Right.
That's why you need that missile so that we can shoot out there. You can also do that with Lando since he can coordinate himself as well, so you can get like a focus lock. Yeah, really good.
Oh man, no!
Alex?
Just having 7-point Han or 7-point Lando, even Leia that's really big. They're a pain to kill, and they're fast.
Yeah, I think so too.
A-wings.
Tell us about some A-wings, Alex.
Oh man, a lot of things happened. Welcome to your building blocks of the faction. So, let's see. Arvel still at 3 points. Derek still at 3 points. Hera went down to 4. Her loadout's now 5 points, so but
Enduring.
4 points. A wing Hera, real scary. Jake gained 3 loadout. That's cool, I guess. That's essentially free Predator. Kyo, still 3 points. Didn't change a thing on her. Them.
Mhm.
Sabine in the A-Wing at 3 points. You lost your Torp slot.
Proton. Yeah.
Fair, but also Beskar and Mando Optics are super cheap, right?
Mhm.
7 points loadout, not too bad. You're probably not going to see this on the table, but that's for some completely different reason. Tycho, still 4 points. They banned Composure though, so that's definitely a hit to him. And Wedge in the A-Wing went down to 3 points, cut his loadout in half to 5, lost his missile slot, but it's still a 3-point Wedge Antilles in an A-Wing.
Yeah, and at 5 points, you can still put on Predator. You can still do Enduring if you want to make him a little more defensive. I mean, Wedge has options at that cost, and he basically only ever wants to use his primary anyway, so losing the missile slot was no big deal. However, Hera Syndulla, definitely a big piece coming down at 4 points. Hera is gonna make some appearances and a couple of rebel lists, just being able to use her ability to pass off tokens there. I think Enduring definitely is a big component for Hera, just being able to essentially have her take an evade token. If she gets shot at and gets a crit, she can, if she happens to take that crit, she can take a focus token, pass that over to somebody else who needs it, and just provide extra tokens automatically for the rest of the list. It's super good. The other parts on here that we saw on here is Arvel Kryn and the core Arvel coming out at 4 points. That was a little tough to see. Jake Farrell, however, if you haven't seen Jake Farrell, I believe he had outmaneuver and afterburners on him.
He had something silly. I don't remember.
He has some crazy loadout, and I'm like, you know what? At 5 points, I actually might consider running the core Jake Farrell. But we'll have to cover that in detail once we do that the next episode and cover his core loadout there. And then Charbet, of course, coming at 4 points as well for the core for that pack.
Yeah, that Jake is just crazy, though, right?
Yeah, it is good. Yeah,
like I think Sabine's really good too, personally, but I think Jake out of all those takes the hat.
Yeah, definitely by far. Yeah.
All right, Sheathapeds, Zeb, and AP5 both down to 3 points, but neither have any sort of loadout, so I don't know why you would take them. And Fenn goes up to 5.
So there is a real space there for AP5, and like I said before, with Rebels losing their ability to have a reliable carrier to mitigate the stress that they have, AP5 being able to still coordinate a stress ship still is a very great ability, even though he only has 5 loadout points. Zeb Aurelios, why did he need to lose his loadout? I didn't understand why. What are you going to put on him for 3 points? What do you put on him? Like,
selfless. That's it.
Golly. Yeah.
Marksmanship and R4, baby.
Guy. I gotta say, I just a side note, I was recently, before the point change, was using Fen Rao with Hondo Naka Crew, and I gotta say it is disgusting to jam an opponent, coordinate a stress one, and then use Fen Rao to stop the tokens of a third ship. It is just absolutely gross. I love it. But yeah, going up to 5 points, considering what else is going on in the faction, I think it was a fair assessment. But hopefully we'll see Fenron come down to 4 again sometime in the very distant future. So yeah.
At 4 points, Sheathapede Fenrao, Loki was super good. I had him in almost any of my Rebel lists.
Yeah. All right.
So tell us about X-Wings.
All right, so T65 X-Wings got some big boosts here. Most notably here, Corran Horn going down to 4 points. I think that is the biggest surprise out of most of these here. Corran Horn is a very underrated X-Wing for the Rebels there. He did lose a lot of his loadout going down to 9, and he also lost his torpedo slot, but gained the missile slot on there. honestly, just shooting primaries with core and horn, still being able to access like a good astromech and a good talent slot like elusive, makes core and horn very, very good. Especially if you put in like R3 astromech to really take advantage of his ability. It is really, really cool to have that piece in Rebels at 4 points. It makes them really competitive, especially when you start adding in like A-Wing Hera. Just those two pieces coming at 8 points together helps the Rebels do a lot more. The other big part that we see,
or
what?
just put a procket on them.
That's true. Put a procket on them.
That's what I was going to do.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, a procket and hopeful, right? Exactly. Yeah, get a free boost.
Marksmanship. Push crits through with that procket.
That's true. That's true. Next up, we got the Jack Porkins T65 revealed from the core. He's going to be 5 points as well. Pretty standard for what he has. Battle Yavin Luke. This is another big one here, coming down to 5 points. Still has proton torpedoes, still has instinctive aim, still have attack speed to do a 4 straight boost if you want to.
Add 2 charge R2D2.
Yeah, and a 2 charge R2D2 for regen. I mean, how do you not include him in the list automatically? He is really, really good. And then we get the Luke Skywalker from the core set. He's going to come in at 6 points as well. Honestly, with boy Luke coming out, I don't see the core Luke really seeing much play over this one, honestly. And then we have customized Luke Skywalker gaining 2 points in loadout value. Congrats, fine.
Compensate for elusive, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Compensate for elusive. Yeah. Thane Kyrell, another quality X-wing, an I5 there. To being able to spend focus or hit results to flip over damage cards, and you get to choose which one you flip. Really, really good, especially when you're playing against some very beefy ships that can take a lot of like damage cards. You can really mess up a ship's day with like adding in like a fuel leak or adding in like structural damage or anything like that. Thane Kyrell is a sleeper, really good. Coming at 8 points, can put a procket on him if you want.
You put mag pulse though, or no?
No, because you don't have to hit. He can do his ability before they roll any dice.
Although it is really funny to flip up a fuel leak and then hit it with a
yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah,
but there's been times where I was playing against Thane. One of my locals really loves Thane, and he'll just like, hey, look, you have a structural under here. Good thing you didn't roll defense dice yet. Real dirty. Another I5 4-point X-wing with the ability to like you take mag pulse, you can take the mag pulse rockets are kind of like your options for the missiles. But like Thane Kyrell's still really good.
Yeah, especially if you're flying in with Corrin. I mean, you just lock Corrin ahead of time and then get a focus after that. Boom, you just enabled your little combo there.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
And then the other big changes here, Wedge Antilles, the customized version of him, the I6 coming down to 5 points, and losing half his loadout at 9, which is okay. He doesn't need to have torps to really be effective. He can still do really, really great on there. He's got just enough loadout there to do elusive predator and maybe a good astromech or afterburners if you really want to.
Or they force you to take the correct choice of putting plasma torpedoes on them.
You can do that too.
5 points.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the good part, right? Is that he still has enough loadout to have different options on him, where you can choose what you want to do with him. I still think he's going to see a lot of play at 5 points. Honestly, he's still going to be a staple for the Rebels. The last thing that we saw that was changed was Wes Jansen. No changes to his points, but he just basically swaps the torpedo for a missile on there.
Kill me with that one. I'm done running Wes Jansen.
Yeah, that was a bit of a loss there, but honestly, 15 points. I mean, unless they come out with a really good missile, other than Procket, kind of hard to choose that one over like Battle Yavin Luke or Wedge. But,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. It's personal attacks left and right.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about our TIE fighters, man.
I think this is the biggest overall change, and one of the reasons why you probably won't see A-Wing Sabine. Sabine, of all the TIE fighters, went down to 2 points.
Hmm.
Her loadout went down to 3, and she lost the missile slot, but
You know why?
you
Because we
still
got a
have
world's
Beskar.
card. It's because we got a world's card for her.
That's
That's
true.
true.
That's why.
That's true.
it.
Yeah.
It's the only
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, 2 points. Best TIE fighter they have. Beskar reinforced plating's 3
Yeah.
points. So
Yes, that's
is her
exactly what I
loadout.
was gonna say. Yeah.
That are like Mando optics if you're aggressive, but I'd rather not take the crit of the person
Yeah.
facing me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that she's going to be a great filler piece at 2 points. So we're definitely going to see a lot more Sabine Wren in Rebels for those lists that just have that odd number of points there. She's a great filler piece for the Rebels there.
No. She's not a great. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
if she had a little more offense,
No.
sure. Or if she got
No.
her ability didn't get turned off with salvage, I would agree with you. But
Oh, she's above average, pretty solid piece.
she's above average. Yes,
Yeah.
she's absolutely above average. If she had her A-wing ability, even better. Like
Oh,
that
Christ.
would be-
No, stop it.
No, like, so when you're just thinking of Rebels, right? You look at Sabine at 2 points, boy Luke at 5. You got 7 points there. That's a pretty solid start. Got
Mhm.
13 points left over. Slap a couple 4-point X-wings in there, right? Now you have 5 points left over. That's pretty big in Rebels. You can do pretty much anything with 5 points there.
Yep, absolutely.
So, if you're trying to figure out something where to start with, that's not too bad of an area.
Yeah, throw in a Y-wing or not a Y-wing, a U-wing at 5
Yeah.
points with crew. Holy crap!
Or you
Jeez.
can have like Sabine, boy Luke, Lando, and then 6 points of whatever you want. Probably
How about
like
BCX Chopper at 6 points?
yeah, I was gonna say like you could put in
Stop it.
any of the gauntlets, Chopper, Keo and Wedge. I mean, there's a lot of ways to build up to 6 points in Rebels right now. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, VCX Chopper, he went down to 6 points. Loadout slashed to 14. Lost 4, whatever. Still kind of a monster. And then Kanan in the VCX went down 1 point. Didn't lose anything else in the loadouts. I'd still wouldn't run Kanan, but
No.
Chopper is very tempting at 6 points.
Yeah. Epionic was running Chopper very successfully, and Luke just got cheaper and Chopper got cheaper. So
Now you shove in TIE Fighter Sabine.
now you got a whole nother body. Oh my god. Kraken goes up to 4, not surprisingly. Whatever. I think that kills Kraken, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You take A-Wings at 3 points now. You don't want Kraken at 4. Not with his shitty dial.
Yeah. I mean, Hera at 4 points easily replaces that, like hands down.
Crew.
Oh, Blount also got 5 points worth of.
Who cares? Nobody cares.
One of
No
my
one's gonna
friends
run.
loves Blount.
Honestly, Horton Salm and Lieutenant Blount are 2 ships that I would love to run together because they just synergize very well. Like they're really good.
But on to the upgrades.
Yeah, not so much for the upgrades. Yeah.
So the only down one was the Ezra Bridger Gunner. Went down to 9 points for whatever reason. I don't know why, but okay, cool.
Ooh, 9
Staple down to Leia. That is
Selfless
Leia.
went to 4, and that was the stupidest thing in the world. But
out
again,
of spite for me personally.
No reason to do that. Commandos at 8, who cares? Maul crew went up to 12. Jin Ursa went up to 7. That's pretty big, actually. Fenral crew obviously up to 7, same as Scum. And C3PO went up to 7 too. And I don't know why.
C3PO's really good on those Falcons. Like you can just take an evade and then double calculate with like Lando or something, and then you can end up being a lot more tanky than you expect.
Yeah.
But I think that's mostly for like, hey, we have a lot of really big ships that have a lot of crew slots. Let's just bump up some of the crew that normally people would take just to make it a little bit less NPE.
Yeah. And one of the combos that I ran for a bit is on Magva Yarrow Ewing with C3PO and the child. I mean, you double calculate and you try to shoot at Magva, good luck. Like she has all the mods. So good.
All right, let's move on to First Order because they needed help, I guess. I don't understand this at all.
Well,
all.
you know, they had a poor performance at Worlds, so you gotta buff them.
So, First Order Provocateur went down to 4 points. Again,
Ooh.
nobody cares. Whatever.
Hot
Cool.
garbage.
Von Reg down to 5 points, though, with only a 4-point loadout loss is huge. Like, Von Reg is not a staple, but pretty close. That I6 for 5 points, so good.
Yeah.
And you can do silly things with them, like put on Daredevil, Predator, and Deuterium power cells if you really wanted to, which doesn't seem too bad at I6.
Yeah, I mean, I was also looking at shield upgrade Deuterium power cells just for super overbloated Von Reg. But yeah,
Wow.
you're right. That is a really good that Daredevil and elusive combo. Just so good.
Yeah, Daredevil's really nice on the BAs just because of that blue 1 hard and then boosting 1 hard. You don't need to like K-turret or anything.
Yep. So good.
It's so good.
And then
I'm not sure personally if I would take Von Reg over Hollow, but I just have an extreme bias for Hollow. So
yeah. So going on to the TIE FO fighters, we got Midnight, which is the I6 coming down to 3 points, losing half of its loadout down to 7, and no longer has a missile slot. But still, 7 loadout points. You can swarm tactics people, you can target synchronize people, you can do whatever you want with it. Like especially you can coordinate. Yep.
Yeah, you have squad leader for 6 points, which is pretty good.
Yeah, really, really good, honestly. And then we got Scorch and DT and Lieutenant Gaelic all losing some loadout value so they can no longer take shield upgrade, thank the Lord. But they also got a reduction too because some of the staples that's on them is elusive, and elusive went up to 4 points. So they have to make a decision between, and also what is it? Fanatical going up to 2 points as well. So they got to make some decisions now on what they want to put onto their ships now.
Oh no, you have to take optics. Sad.
Yeah, optics and what though?
Optics and marksmanship.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Except for Gaelic, who can still take ion cannon and bioaxe crypt codes, so at least they throw a bone with that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then going down to the TIE SA bombers, we got Dread and Scorch coming down to 3 points. However, their loadout points is only 8 and 7. They can maybe take 1 proton bomb and beat that thing, but that's about it.
All right, I have a list with 4 bombers. So,
oh, interesting. Okay,
I'm sorry.
So you can say you're sorry all you want. How
many bomblets do you have?
Like 4, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, bomblets are good, and especially if you get like Rudge in there, right? Kind of the only way they actually deal damage, but I'm not a big fan of like. I wouldn't run like Dread and Scorch. I'd just run the other Scorch. You know. I love bombers. I love bombs. People are really bad against bombs, but I just don't. I'm not sure on those.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring it next week, Alex. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Yeah, I'll fly Torkel for you.
Whatever.
And so going on to the TIE SF fighters, we got.
Hold on. Can we go back? Are you going to really run Torkel? Seriously? Like, I think you should. I want to see you run Torkel.
No, I want to play something decent. Torkel's not good, and then also they made him worse.
Yes.
You can't Torkel things that are out of your arc.
Yeah.
Which is what real aces should do anyways.
Yeah.
TIE SFs. Very scary now. Despite them losing a lot of loadout points. But we'll get to that.
So quick draw coming down from 6 points down to 5 points. He did lose half of his points, coming down from 25 points down to 12. However, going with that, he now has a free Special Forces Gunner, which costs 0 points.
All Special Forces Gunner is 0 points now.
Yes,
Could
and
have
now
just
they
made it a
can
config.
exactly. You can still get in there. You can put a shield upgrade if you want to, along with Predator and Fire Control if you wanted to, or you can do Pattern Analyzer with Proud Tradition and other stuff. He still has and afterburners. Yeah, heck yeah. So he has a lot of different options still for his loadout at 5 points. I think Quick Draw is going to come back and make an appearance there for First Order. Lieutenant Hughes, however, feels more like a nerf. Although he is 4 points, going down from 18 points down to 7, even with a free Special Forces Gunner, unless you're running something that really helps him use his ability, like Lieutenant Rivas. It is tough to really get anything going really well with Lieutenant Hughes and 7 points. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, like Midnight is 3 points, which does kind of enable it, but then whatever Midnight's doing, you lose the Midnight thing for that. So, yeah, poor LaHughes got this great alt art from that store camp that barely happened. He never got to use it for regionals. That's what it was.
You'll never run it.
Yeah.
So then we
also, have. There's still some more things on the SFs. Backdraft lost loadout down to 5 points. That's pretty big. Phasma also lost points down from 14 to 6. And then one of the generics lost points, but no one cares about that. Yeah, so Backdraft's down to 5 loadout and Phasma's down to 6 loadout. I mean, you still get the free special forces, but ultimately that's a bigger loss.
So then we have Silencers getting a bit of a buff there. Avenger getting more loadout points. Same with Recoil. Same with Rush.
Recoil is actually a really big one.
Yeah, Recoil going to 10 points of loadout. I don't know. How about this? Kylo Ren goes to 22 and goes, oh, have another talent slot. How about that?
First talent slot. Now you can slap on Outmaneuver and have the scariest Kylo ever made.
Wait. He didn't have a talent slot before?
He did not have a talent slot.
He only had Force.
Only the Force slot.
Okay, well, that was an oversight, I think, on their behalf. Yeah, that's, I don't know.
Blackout also went down to 5 points.
Yeah, which
is huge.
That's Blackout, even with a loadout loss, it's inconsequential. You're still going to want to run Blackout.
Yeah, it's on a list over to Cody, so you can still run triple silencers. And he's just like, they're like, they gave me Outmaneuver and Blackout at 5 points. And I'm like, yeah, it's so a real scary Kylo that's like Outmaneuver extreme maneuvers.
And with Outmaneuver, do you still put on sensitive controls?
Who was putting sensitive controls on Kylo to begin with?
No, not Kylo. Blackout.
No, you get rid of it. You don't need it. It's not worth it. His ability is just a gimmick. He's gonna die if you buy into his ability. But a silencer at 5 points that can occasionally get his ability off, yes, please.
Yeah, you can do Blackout with like a Procket sensor scramblers and like Predator, and then somehow shoot a Procket through a rock for less agility, which would be really funny to me. They can just be range 2. You don't actually have to hit the rock next round.
A bullseye Procket shot through a rock.
5-die Procket, and you get -1 agility.
Oh god, that's great.
Do it.
Yeah.
Those are huge buffs for the silencers. They were already one of the best chassis in the game.
Yeah.
And now they got actual loadout to play around with. Because you can do, Rush with a Procket and still have 3 points left over now.
Yeah,
and like exactly. An I6 Rush with a Procket is just terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, he's the only one that doesn't have a Torp slot, so you can't do something super crazy.
And then, if that wasn't enough, you still have Kylo Ren and the Whisper now at 5 points. Like, oh, here, let's give you a 5-point Whisper. I don't even understand this one. Why? Who thought this was a good idea? Who thought this was a good idea?
Listen, if they're taking this Kylo over the other one, I'm okay with it.
I mean, you can still have the crispy loadout, which is instinctive aim, predator, optics, and something, and just take out your concussion missiles. And honestly, you could swap out the instinctive aim for like brilliant evasion, and that is still a very, very good Kylo Ren. Still very good. I mean, what's crazy is that you can fit Kylo Ren, outmaneuver, blackout, Major Von Reg, and quick draw in the list. I mean, God, that's really good.
Yeah, FO actually seems like you can run semi-viable ace lists. They kind of seem like the only faction that can do that.
Yeah.
Which is a cool way of having a faction identity, right? You can have like super aces and then a bunch of actually decent TIE fighters. There's not a lot of other places. I know Cody will love that you can do ace things.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Snoke Crew, nobody cares about. Went down to 10.
Banned.
Yeah, still banned.
We already touched on Special Forces Gunner, Fanatical. We already touched on Deuterium Power Cells down to 6. That's pretty big. That 2-point cost decrease will help some of these other ships that can now take it. Like, Von Reg. Saying.
Quick draw. If you want to regen his ability.
It kind of sucks as you do get like the disarm or whatever.
Which is fine. You just disengage for a turner, so
right. Well, fine. Then you're teaching people how to actually play X-Wing well. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Last faction of the night. I apologize. It has been a long night, but this is my favorite faction. If you didn't know.
Nothing special in this faction. We can skip it. It's fine.
I've never seen you play Separatist in my life.
All right. We'll skip it altogether. All right. So we'll start with Grievous. Grievous lost. Excuse me.
They did the disrespect thing and lose one loadout point. I'm all about it.
They say, you know what? We're going to give you Torkel. We're going to give you, one of the other pilot. Yeah, we're going to give you Finn, and now we're going to take away Grievous as your penance.
That's fine. They didn't take him away. Really, I think Grievous is still viable.
Yeah, I agree. He just flies different now. It's fine.
You still can put afterburners and impervium and like marksmanship on them for like a really solid loadout, or like shield upgrade if you're really about it.
You could put, you can also put Debris Gambit. Yeah. True. I love me Debris Gambit Grievous. Yeah. It's my favorite.
I agree with you. Debris Gambit is probably the better option. Just getting that evade on him is it's crucial. It's good.
Love it. So Grievous,
like 8 health Grievous.
What?
Slap a shield upgrade on him, and
it's pretty dirty
8
too.
Health.
Watt gets 2 more loadout point just so he could take Impervium, and same with Captain Seer gets 2 more loadout because of that. The big ones, folks, is the next one, and it's not as good as I originally had heard about. Originally, I heard my SOC flax were going down to 3 points. They did not. And
the banned ones did.
The banned ones did, which pisses me off because you can't play them. Like, whatever. I want my SOC 3-point flax because, like, I've been list building, damn it, around those for like weeks.
Mini Soontir Faps are kind of terrifying at 3 points.
Yeah. With Necrocaculates.
Right.
Yep. So I guess maybe we should do that first. That's what we're going to do. Let's go through the upgrades first because that's bigger.
Okay.
And so the biggest change, right, is the biggest change is that network calculates go up to 2, or I'm sorry, independent calculates go up to 2, and impervium plating goes up to 2. So those are pretty big. I'm not super upset by that. The indie calcs going up to 2 does kind of suck. because it makes you now you actually have to choose, not based on playstyle, but based on your loadout. I don't like that. But as a consolation prize, every one of the attack droids went down.
Yes.
Right. Like,
Christ.
I don't know who thought that was.
All
Who
of them
did
went
that,
down 2
but
points.
they did. I don't know if I'll ever run Kalani. We'll see. But Kalani is
Kalani's-
3 points.
Kalani is kind of cool, but you wouldn't be running droids with it. You'd be running other ships with it.
Well, you'll be running Tri-Fighters. That's what you'll be
Rogue.
running.
Rogue class. That's what you were.
Or rogues. K2B coming down to 4 points is actually pretty big. Because Watt was my K2B carrier, and same or you could run Seer, and both of them coming down 2 points means even with the 2 point increase, they actually each one of them have gained 2 points. So that's pretty big. Not that Seer has any slots you can do anything with.
God,
But,
shield upgrade.
Yeah, but you always could have run that before.
Right.
So now,
But now you get
now you get 2 extra
attack
points you
relay.
can't do anything with. Anyway, but it's cool. Discord missiles down to 2 points. Like, I just feel they should just be free. And call it a day.
No. As a major Discord missile believer, no. Do not make them free.
Make them free because you can just shoot them and they die. That's what happened.
Yeah, but you're taking a shot away from one of your ships. And that's way more important.
Yeah, it's like a free hull upgrade, basically.
Well, good. I like that.
That's also if you manage to actually hit it. There's other times where I've shot at them and they still don't kill them, despite them having 1 agility now.
Yeah, treacherous is up to 3. I do not understand that, but I get it. Because you don't want to be able to take them on all the Tri-Fighters. Dooku down to 12. I still think Dooku's too expensive, but Dooku down to 12 is fine. It helps Zam and Jango out. And Grievous crew is going up to 6, and I know why they did that. That makes sense 100%. Grievous crew, if you were not running Grievous crew was amazing for 4 points. Yeah. Thank you very much.
With a bunch of droids.
Yeah.
Just ignore damage and then, oh my god, some garbage ship died. I guess I'll just continue to ignore more damage.
Yeah, so I'm not that actually does not bother me. It does kind of screw up a dirge build that I had. But that's fine.
So you can put them on Cad Bane. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. I don't like Cad as much. All right. Anyway, now we go back to the ships. So Tri-Fighters, Fierce Predators down to 3 points. You'll only get 3 loadout, but they're down to 3 points. You can run Intercept Booster, and then your 3-point talent or marksmanship indie calcs, whichever floats your boat.
Well, you still have the intercept boosters, right? Like those are just the config. So,
yep. Who cares about the phallics? SOC 347 down to 3 points is actually pretty big, because that's a contender for that 404 slot when you had a 3-point ship before. The other 347 down is the same thing. You get 4 loadout points. It's not as good in my opinion because you lose your afterburners. And to me, that's really big on that ship. The free is essentially a free afterburners on that ship.
Yeah.
But you can do it. T81 normal is down to 3 points, but only 3 loadout. It's okay. You still calculate. But reroll man is down to 4 points with me. Got me some outmaneuver ships still. You still get an outmaneuver ship, not one that wants to live as long, but reroll
It's
man
fun
down
as
to
hell.
4 points is I don't know how to say this. Like that. If you want a ship that for 4 points is going to live and do damage, that ship is right there. Like that ship is totes magos for 4 points. I don't know why they did that. I had no idea who thought that was a good idea.
But they looked at
I
Finn
think
and
he's
thought,
fine at
hey,
4.
What?
I think
They
he's
look-
fine at 4. Sorry, we both said the same thing again.
yeah, I was gonna say they looked at Finn and said, you know what? What if we put that ability on a Tri-Fighter and let it affect all the dice? Yes.
Just don't get shot by more than one ship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get that huge stop.
That's true. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's undercosted at 4 points personally.
I think it's just perfectly fine at 4 points.
Then we have Aurora sink down to 7 points. Yes, and thank you, I guess. She lost a shitload of loadout though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still don't take her, especially when you have the option of other 2 fire sprays.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I will
think
say,
you just carve out one more point in your list to take Sam.
But hear me out though. Aurora can move tractor tokens around.
Okay.
All right. And Sunfac is now down to 5 points, which we'll get to in a minute.
Right.
However, you also have double tap mall at the same price now.
All right, fine. You get double tap all.
Double tap mall with also his brother.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Zam coming down to 8 points is ludicrous to me too. Like, thank you. I don't know. People are telling me I should not replace Django with Zam, but
why?
You don't have to take BTG with Zam, and if they either don't shoot you, or they shoot you and you shoot twice back at them, and you can run Notorious. Like even though Notorious went up to 7, I have a Zam loadout. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Zam's almost a better buy now.
Yeah, so and essentially you get a discount on it too, right? Because if you're not taking veteran tail gunner, which is 5 points now, Notorious at 7 points, what you would have paid for veteran tail gunner, you can invest those points into Notorious on Zam. So really, you're only losing 3 points really in that trade off. So like it's good.
You can still run like Dooku Contraband and Notorious.
Yep,
22 points.
Yep.
To me, it's good. To me, it's huge. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zam coming down to 8 points, like there is a lot of other toys now. I won't lie, but I don't know. Like it's gonna be really hard not to run Zam at 8 over Django. So
yeah,
I would take Zam over Django pretty much every time.
Gauntlets down 6 points. Both of them lost loadout. Bo, for whatever reason, only has 12 loadout now. Sad day for Bo. Pre-Vizsla lost only 4 loadout, but gains an illicit slot, so I can now run Contraband on them. Seems pretty good, actually. You do probably lose Notorious, which I think is fine for Pre, because that's a 6-point Pre-Vizsla. And it's every other churn it's going to wallop you in the head. And oh, by the way, clan training's down. And oh, by the way, all these other things are down. Like I think Pre-Vizsla for 6 points is a pretty big gain in CIS.
Yep, and also has an illicit slot too, so you can do Mando optics and then jam somebody. And then
if you wanted to, false transponder codes and optics. But that's during the system phase though, so like,
which is fine. I mean, they had to make a choice at that point.
Tell us about the HMPs.
Yes, HMPs coming back into the game finally. We got a points reduction across the board for all of them there. The Geonosian prototypes coming down to 4 points, losing 6 loadout points there. The on-the-run oppressors gaining some loadout there, also getting a double missile slot, getting a total of 15 loadout points there. DGS 047 going down 2 points to 3. And then losing a bit of loadout points there, but still a really good carrier there. DGS 286 also going down to 3 points. Lost a ton of loadout, going from 20 down to 7. And also lost a torp slot, but still has the double missiles there. Can still run barrage rockets or multi-missile pods. The Bactoid and Separatist drones, which are the generics, also getting a point reduction down to 4, but that's about it.
Nobody cares about them.
Exactly.
Stop telling me. Stop telling me about them. So 47 can be a Kraken carrier. It can be a K2B4 carrier. I mean, like you just gave me a 3-point tack relay carrier. Thank you, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I will say those Onderon oppressors, I don't know why they gave them 15 points of loadout, because that's actually pretty cool. And I will say there is a couple of lists floating around that seem pretty fun with Pre-Vizsla in them. And then those Onderon oppressors with energy shells, mag pulses, thermals, and delayed fuses. And that seems a little weird, but at the exact same token, it does not, because your Onderon oppressors are crazy, right? Like, after you barrel roll or side slip, if you are stressed, you get a calculate token. So it's like a free mod. Like, you could do, I don't know, you could do almost anything with these things. So
they have 15 points of loadout, right?
Yep.
And they have a missile slot. They also have a payload slot. So
Yep.
you can do something like, bring electrochaff missiles and also another missile.
Oh, stop it.
Discord missiles.
You can bring electrochaff and energy shells. You can bring Discord missiles. And still have points left over for crew.
Actually, that's pretty dirty. Discord missiles and chaff missiles, you're going to prevent them from moving and then get your Discords right on there. Oh, my God.
Yeah, and then you can add novice tech and also electronic baffle just to fill out the rest of their slots,
That's so good.
Side slip around that electrochaff. Good times. Just throwing that out there, by the way, guys.
Oh, gosh.
And you could put Pre-Vizsla in the list, too. You could run 4 HMPs and Pre-Vizsla now.
Golly, that's so good.
I love it. I love it. Anyway, the next one is Menantex, and SureTech and Sunfact both down a point. SureTech loses 5 points of loadout, which I don't think it's right. That's not right,
so
JJ.
Sad.
I don't think he had 15 loadout before.
Let me double check here. But continue.
And Sunfact only loses 3 points of loadout.
Yeah,
so
SureTech had 15 points beforehand. You could do Ensnare Gravitic.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Now it's tragic because you lose Gravitic.
Yeah, you do lose Gravitic. But it's still a 4-point Nantex at I5 with Ensnare. I still think that's pretty good.
It's I4.
Yeah, it's I4, yeah. But still, at I4, you overlap with a lot of initiatives there. Being able to go in there and set up a good block for an ensnare, really good. And then getting the rerolls on that tractor opponent. I'm honestly eager to try out a list with Sunfac and SureTech along with Onderon oppressor, or sorry, not Onderons, the Geonosian prototypes that take advantage of tractored opponents with their cannons. So being able to get rerolls off of that, it seems pretty good, especially if you could put that tractor opponent into a place where you can get them into arc with those HMPs. I think it's very good.
Alex, what happened with my rogues?
They all went down to 4 points and lost, various points of loadouts. I am very intrigued on Magna Guard Protectors. I think that's an underrated piece. I was actually very tempted with them beforehand at 5 points, and now that they're at 4 is pretty interesting to me.
I ran them at 5 points. I will 100% run them at 4.
Yeah, because you can still do like proton cannons, Discord missiles, and independent calcs, right?
You can do synced laser cannon, Discords, and calcs.
Yeah, depending on what kind of offense you want for that. Yeah, so their ability to just put guarded down, so if they're not in the bullseye, they roll additional defense die, which is real crazy. If you have evading or calculating Magna Guards in there, Cad Bane, He could be a pain to kill if you like slap on like Grievous crew and like Treacherous, and just really make it kind of a pain to kill him. And then if you do, a bunch of actions and stuff. The IGs are less stellar than the other ones, but they're still kind of cool. One Eye, the IG 111, just can do auto damage, and auto damage is never bad. I'm not sure
So-
I would run 101 or 102, but
So Magnagard Protectors and Zam.
Mhm.
Zam's four green dice Zam. Seemed pretty good to me. I don't know. Could be wrong.
you're not shooting at Sam anyways.
Well, I don't know. Most people, you have to. I think you have to.
Not with two Magna Guard protectors over there and Notorious.
I don't know. Like, yep. It just
if they do, great, but
it's
on them.
crazy to me. Yep. But you can also do two Magna Guard Protectors and Django, right? You could do that if you want. And my preferred would be Zam, but
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I like the rogue classes at 5 seem just a little bit kind of not worth it. There are like the cost of being like decent, and then Dirge came out, and people are like, "Oh, you can actually play something at 4 points and have it be semi good." So,
Yep.
we'll see on that.
Lastly, we see 066 going down to 5 points, but hey, we're gonna kill your loadout still, and I don't know if anybody's gonna take them. So I don't know. 5 points. How about this? Once we get into Store Champ season, I will mess around with 066. But
the problem with 066, honestly, is that it just doesn't have a tactical relay slot.
Yeah.
And that really kills it.
Yeah, could you imagine a 5-point infiltrator with attack relay and being able... Oh my god.
When Seps first came out in 2.0, I ran 066 with tactical relays and a bunch of droids, and that just murdered everything. And it was great. I have a soft spot for 066. But not so much now because it doesn't have a relay.
And Maul came out down to 7 and lost only 1 loadout. So, seems
Maul's
pretty
really good.
Yep, seems pretty good.
Maul, people forget how hard that Maul. Like, people realize it was really good when they put the Protorps on there and use it as an alpha strike. But like without all that kind of stuff, it was still really strong.
It's I call it Maul with a baseball bat. That's what it is. Maul with a baseball bat.
Because you put on like Malice and Hate and Savage and just call it a day. Seems really good.
All right.
Terrifying, actually. Right, JJ?
Yes, 1000%.
Darth Maul with Malice, Hate, and Savage.
Oh yeah. And then give him Grievous crew on top of that just to make him more survivable.
Don't have the points, but it'd be fun.
All right. We're gonna quickly cover generic upgrades. I don't think most of these are weird. Both R3 and R4 went back down to 3 and 2 respectively.
Yeah.
Thank God. And HLC goes up to 5. Jamming Beam goes up to 1 because why not? I guess.
No zero cost, baby.
Tractor Beam goes up to 6. I don't understand that one either, but
I'm fine with it.
whatever. Like, I don't want a bunch of tractor beams running around anyway. I hate it.
It's Vader. It's all Vader. Guarantee you.
Probably.
Elite
And
Vader.
then sync
There you
laser cannons go down to 6, and that's huge. Hondo goes up to 8. I don't know why. I'm a little confused as to why it went up to 8,
Crew
but
carriers going down points, man. Across the board. And like every faction, all their major crew carriers.
extreme maneuvers went up to 8.
Yeah.
I don't. That's the same thing. I don't understand that one. But whatever. And Hate's up to 5, which makes sense. That one I understand. Agile Gunner, 1 point.
I don't get that.
Yep, doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Cool. VTG going to 5 points. That makes sense. veteran turret gunner then
Another
coming down to
PTG.
3 points. Like, no, that's why.
So the Y-Wings don't have them anymore, so we're good.
Yeah,
Alright.
but that makes the VCXs so much more deadlier now.
That's fine. That's okay. I'll take it.
Yeah. Then we have cloaking device goes up to 8 points.
Thank you, Moff Gideon.
Yep.
Who could still take it, by the way. You
Yeah.
just don't get anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
False transponder codes went up to 5 points.
Which I'm okay with. That's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense. Rig cargo went down 1 to 3. That's fine. Barrage rockets went down to 6 points. What
Yeah.
color and there, JJ?
Yep. Yeah,
That's
I was
pretty-
doing this at 4 a.m, man. I'm freaking exhausted back then.
Afterburners went down to 8 points. That's pretty big. We already spoke about the Beskar, Drop Seed, Mandalorian Optics. Proxy mines went up even more because agency, I don't know. Proton bombs went up 1 point. That's fine. They're still really good, but why would you take ion bombs when you can take proton bombs,
Yeah, exactly. It seems a little silly.
Collision detector went down 2 points to 7. That's a choice. I'm not sure what kind of ships would run it, but I'd run it all the time on Echo.
So, quick draw with Lingava and Trick Shot. You just go, you slam right through a gas cloud, you take a damage, and then Trick Shot right through a gas cloud and with quick draw, and then shoot again at I6.
Okay.
Hey, I didn't say it was good, but but it
Lone
is
Wolf
possible.
went down to 3, which makes sense. If a whole bunch of other ships went down in points, you're going to see an increase in that. Composure's banned, like we said with Tycho, which is good. Crackshot and Predator both went up 1 point.
Mhm.
Daredevil went up to 5 from 2. That's a choice. That's fine. Debris Gambit went down to 4. That's interesting.
Yes.
That's actually a good consideration on things. I'm actually looking at some T70s with Debris Gambit in there.
Yeah, definitely. Now-
Elusive went up to... sorry.
So I did want to have a small conversation on this here because I think Debris Gambit now is going to probably see a lot more play, coming down to 4 points. With the popularity of Elusive where it was, and I understand part of it is because it was just 2 points, but as far as the defensive mod, do you think that Debris Gambit is at the same power level as Elusive, or at least a little less or a little higher? Like, what do you think?
I think Elusive's a little bit better than Debris Gambit, just because it doesn't require an action and you can recharge it a lot more.
Okay.
It's just if you bump, you still have like a focus Elusive reroll. You don't get that with Debris Gambit.
Gotcha.
No, it's your whole action, but for certain ships, I think it's better.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I still think Elusive's better. I am not really looking at Elusive too much anymore, unless it's like a very specific kind of ship. Which is good because free defensive reroll is very strong. And, dedicated's up to 3 points now, so we might as well hit Elusive.
Yeah, definitely.
Juke went up 1 point. Even though they took it away from Defender Vader. Whatever.
It's good it went up.
Yeah.
At
Notorious-
Rickolay. Yeah.
Notorious went up to 7. Which makes sense. That's really, really strong upgrade. And Saturation Salvo went down to 2 points in preparation for the bombers to come out, I guess. I don't know. I think Saturation Salvo, I believe when 2.0 first came out, Saturation Salvo was like 6 or 8 points.
It was 8 points. It was
Yeah.
ungodly expensive for no reason.
Now it's 2, and no one will play it.
Yeah, exactly. And then going down to Advanced Proton Torpedo. Now, I think this is probably due to most likely the Rebels, I would say. The APT is going up to 9 points there, a 1 point increase, and Plasma Torpedoes coming down to 5 points. I actually like this change. I think Plasma Torpedoes has been underrated for such a long time. I do understand the the big hit potential, the high ceiling that proton torpedoes and advanced proton torpedoes has, but plasma torpedoes, especially at a high initiative, going in to put in those first strikes on the ship, is just as effective as as a proton torpedo in stripping shields and getting damage through, to soften up a target for follow-up shots from the rest of the list.
I also think APT went up too because a bunch of the T-70s went down, and they have like 7 and 8 point loadouts.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's probably a big part of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it. We went through all
We
the
got it.
points. 3 hours. We went through all the points.
So for you, what's your biggest change? Like, surprise at change? Like, what's your favorite change so far, and your more disappointed one?
I mean, my disappointed one is dedicated and 7th Fleet Gunner. They can argue that 7th Fleet Gunner needed to go up, but 13 points is a lot.
I mean, you can still take it on your 6-point lat, you know?
Yeah. I would love to run just garbage.
The garbage will do.
No, that's like the biggest like personal impact. But I really like. Oh, I guess also the most disappointing thing is the Scum faction in its entirety, because that thing is. It was hard to list build before, and now you can list build a little bit easier, but everything got worse overall. So it's like I can fit 6-point Dengar in my list now, but that's not good.
Yeah.
I do get Seavor, which is fun. But no, Resistance looks really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Rebels still seems really strong. Republic seems really strong. The Separatists seem really strong. First Order seems really strong. And then there's Scum. And the Empire, which is always solid. I'm just not super into the Empire.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, for me, I think my favorite change was 7th Fleet Gunner going up in price. I think that was such an impressive card.
Impressive.
Particularly with Delta 7 Obi-Wan, just being able to throw 5 dice at range 1, it was pretty sick. But beyond that, I'm actually very, very happy with the points changes across the board. I think it really focuses on having you make choices with your list, in terms of loadouts as well as pilots as well across the factions. It feels like there's no more auto includes for a lot of things. I think that as far as the list, it does make it a little more wide open, although the majority of the ships do share a lot of loadout values, or sorry, not a lot of points cost rather. I think that we're going to see a much more variety in the meta across the board. I think Scum does have a viable chance to have a few lists that are going to do well, beyond just large bases. So I'm excited to see what this season of Store Champs is going to bring for the game.
So, in a joking manner, my favorite changes was Finn and Torkel Mux, hands down, because those are like the most hated ships ever, and they should just be banned.
Why do you actually have a problem with Torkel? Just out of curiosity.
So when I first started playing the game, right, Torkel Mux was such a negative play experience for me that like it got to the point where I almost wanted to rage quit. And some of it is right because you have other players that are better than you. So when you bring a Hera in behind, some of your other options, and Torkel Mux goes, "Oh, Hera, you're going to engage at I0 now," and then everybody just kills your Hera every single time, you get really pissed off. But what I found was no matter what faction I played outside of CIS, I hated Torkel Mux if you didn't fly just right. And some of it was because he had the Moldy Curl title. So when you could take that with Torkel Mux, it made those lists better. But for me, it was just the negative play experience, period. Like to me, Torkel Mux is one of the largest negative play experiences in X-Wing, maybe outside of like Luke Gunner or whatever, like when Luke Gunner was a thing. because that was pretty bad too. But I didn't get to play in that, right? Finn is just because Finn's stupid and annoying.
No,
And,
Finn, I understand. I was
like-
just curious on the Torkoal part.
Yeah, but that's why Torkoal, because when I first started playing, Torkoal Mux was just, and not everybody ran him, but when people ran him, it was just like, oh my god, like when you're learning to play the game, like what he does to me was just horrible.
It's like Torkoal Mox's heyday was in like late 2018 with like Drea Swarms. So he
Yeah.
hasn't done anything. I was just pure curiosity on that.
Because it's a negative play experience. Like Finn is kind of a negative play experience too, in of himself to some extent. But Torkoal Mux is just like worse in my opinion. Like it's hands down worse. Like it's just, I don't even know. Like when Ray Gunner goes, hey, I'm going to flip a blank to a hit or an evade, you go, okay, that sucks, right? That's not cool, but that's not the end of the world. When Torkoal Mux goes, you don't get to engage, you don't get to do anything, I'm going to take everything away from you, you can go fuck off and die, and you're just like, I can't play the game. And to me, it's a very, very poorly written card. Now, I'm not going to say Boba's not poorly written too, but at the time, Torkoal Mux has a bigger impact on that type of stuff. I don't know. That's why. So, and if you want to make me a shirt that says Torkoal Mux can go to hell or whatever the hell you want it to say, as long as it's nothing positive about him, I will wear the shirt at every store champs, as long as it's comfortable.
I was just curious because I mean, like a lot of people obviously didn't like him if they were playing like Whisper, which a lot of people around me were.
Yep.
But
or Soontir Fell. You know how I lost a Soontir Fell one time to an M3A swarm with Torkoal Mux, which is my own fault, yes, for putting Soontir close enough to get shot at 3 times. But still, like, it's just, to me, it's just negative play experience. It's a poorly written pilot card. And
yeah, the debuffs in any game are generally not fun to play against. That's kind of a design philosophy.
Yes. And so whatever. I mean, some of the things I can get behind, but Torkoal Mux I cannot. So, and I never will. And I don't care what anybody says. You'll never change my mind about Torkoal Mux ever. It's just never going to happen. Anyway, on the side for me, so besides that piece of the Torkoal Mux piece, because I actually love that. Like, that was a surprise to me. So I was so excited by that, you have no idea. Like, I did a happy dance. But other than that, like, for me, the big thing, it's nice to see tri-fighters become viable, personally. It's nice to see silencers become a little bit more viable, even though I don't think FO needed the effing help at all. It's nice to see resistance have a little bit more leg, though I'm not sold on the stupid Chewbacca thing. Outside of that, like, I think resistance getting some X-Wings lower is pretty cool. And I will tell you right now, like, for a new player starting, to be able to hand them 5 X-Wings in resistance is amazing. To be able to hand them 5 X-Wings in Rebels is going to be amazing. And like, that's the type of change I like. Even if 5 X-Wings are not like ultra competitive, to me, it's amazing for the pure fact of getting people into the game. It's an iconic ship. They don't die right away. You love to play them. And I feel like there's cool personalities of these ships that you get to play. And I will tell you, like, I already talked to Corey, and like, we have like new player kits built. He's going to throw T60 or T70s in there all day long, because I can hand that to almost any player right now and they can play it. And if we talk about what AMG has strived to do is get new people into the game, I feel this points update a little bit has helped some of that. I don't like some of the power creep at all, but I think being able to pull some of this stuff in there makes new players walking into the game so much easier. And I'm going to, like, I don't know if Tim listens to our show or not, but Tim from my locals is a newer gentleman. He likes to play Rebels and Empire, and watching Tim play, like, sometimes you could tell Tim feels a little bit more defeated. And this points update, like, I can't wait to get to like see him tomorrow so that he could be like, hey, this is exciting. I got a bunch of new toys to play with, and like that guy is like the epitome of like the new player, like the best thing that you can ever imagine when you see a new player. Like he lights up all the time. He loves the game, and this is something that I feel is going to help him progress as a new player to be able to compete a little bit with some of the BS, like me flying an outmaneuver Grievous when I probably don't need to fly that against him. Like it's probably not. That's probably a dick move. Now he gets to fly against the Sunfuck, but whatever. I mean, I'm just saying.
Just fly Torkoal Mux against them so that way he can share your hate.
No. All right, Tim. If you listen to this and you approach me, I will not. I can't do it. I just can't do it. The things I don't like is that they didn't get rid of Born for this. Fuck them for that. I hate that. I can't stand that in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand the lower point costs of the YT1300s. I'm befuddled by why they thought that was good. Except for Scum, I guess. Like, whatever. Like, that was that. But to me, Scum is the biggest disappointment because people want to say CIS is the 2.0 Scum or 2.5 Scum. And I hate people saying that because I want CIS to have a different identity faction. I don't want to be 2.5 Scum at all. Like, I hate that. And I want Scum to be viable because I actually enjoy playing Scum a lot. And you know who didn't build the Scum list? This guy. Other than I like Finn Rao, but I didn't build a Scum list, and I'm not going to. I don't understand their hatred of Scum. And if they hate it that much, fucking disperse it, right? Let's just take it, break it apart, and make it other factions or make them bounty hunters or bounties where you could just bring them into other factions. Like, that would be cool. Can I bring Boba Fett into CIS?
Oh, you mean 2.5 Scum? Yeah. Sure.
Fuck you. But I'm just saying, like, I really do not like that that Scum feels nerfed more. That's what it feels like to me. And
Scum
I don't like it.
Hard to build for right now. And it's just still going to go back to, well, I'm just going to go fly Boba Fett.
Yep.
And whatever.
And I hate that. I just... I can fly Boba Fett again, I guess, right? That's a thing. 9 and 6 points. That's 15 points. I still got 5 more points. I can fly Bosk in a 3-point ship or another 5-point ship. Whatever. Anyway, so that my disappointment is Scum, and that's because I heard they were going to help Scum out. They really cared about Scum, but obviously they do not.
But they brought Dengar and the Mandalorian down a point, and the YVs.
Yeah, I will fly the YVs. I do like YVs, but still, like, I don't know. I mean, I can now fly Bosk, Lots, and Afra for 18 points, and well, I guess you can't fly Bosk. Yeah, then and then Ash the Pup. There you go. Fuck that. Damn it. Damn it. I need a 2-point TIE fighter.
Like Kantos Lichos.
I don't know. Anyway, thank you for sticking around through the longest episode of Planning Phase Syndicate history.
Episode 100. Yeah.
Yep, episode 100. We thank you very much for joining us. I don't know. I might break this into 2 episodes. I feel like it could be 2 episodes.
Could be 200-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
How many hours is that? We got to go for another 8. We got to go for another 8 minutes, Alex, if we're going to do that.
No, don't do it. For the love of God, no.
No.
The editing alone. The editing alone.
You're right. Because technically, normally I would go tonight and edit, but it's already 12:15, and I don't know if I want to edit. So I apologize for not getting to any lists. I really do. I felt the points update was a big discussion. I did not anticipate it would take 3 hours for us to get through this. But I will say we will 100% do lists either halfway through the week. We might do a surprise episode, or we will do an episode next week. I don't know. The problem is I don't really want to wait to do lists because there's another 2 store champs next weekend. And like, I don't know. Whatever. Well, we're going to get to lists. We might pick them up later this week and do a episode halfway through the week. If not, we will see you not next Sunday, but next Monday night. We're moving the podcast to Monday night because of the holiday. With everything going on, I want to make sure that these two guys are at least halfway inebriated before we join the cast Monday night. So
Okay.
I'm giving them some time to get drunk and grill out before we cast. So we're gonna cast next Monday night instead of Sunday night. So everybody knows. So with that being said, thank you all. Have a good night, and we will see you when we see you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.